Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
They're going to be sorry they were ever born.
Who?
All of them.
Yeah, beat 'em up just like it's WWW. Promise you right what I tell you. Yeah, look, you cannot see what's in front of you. You cannot see what's in front of you. Yeah, promise that you get to run into if you knew what's about to come to you. It's about to get real dangerous. It's about to get real dangerous. It's about to get real dangerous. It's about to get real dangerous.
Today's episode is powered by Dre's Daiquiri Shop at Cotton Gin, where Texas flavor meets game day energy. Cool off with our legendary Texas-style daiquiris and load up on the best football food in town. From crispy, mouth-watering wings to your favorite game day bites, Dre's is your ultimate pregame, halftime, and victory spot. Don't just watch the game. Taste the win at Dre's Daiquiri Shop at Cotton Gin.
And welcome to the show, the One Ass Cheek and 3 Toes. I am your host, Nate the Great. I got Mr. BA on one side. I got Mr. Jay Weezy on the other side. And we have a special guest, George. He is a Lions fan. Hello, George. How you doing?
How you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Well, fellas, B already beat us to the punch. The Eagles beat us 16-6. So let's just get into it. I'm sorry, it's 16-9. Thank you.
Why change shit?
It might as well have been 6 because they scored that field goal later on at the end. But whatever. Let's get into it. We'll start with you, George. Just give us your initial thoughts of the game so far.
My initial thoughts, I was watching the game. I was like, well, if the Super Bowl window isn't closed, I hear the creaking sound of it closing because it's not looking good with their interior offensive line being that vulnerable against a stout defensive line like Philly's. And they definitely are going to need those 3 interior offensive lines somehow. And I think it just is what it is at this point, to either find some kind of magic or some kind of answer to keep Jared Goff clean in that pocket, or just punch holes in the run game to get Gibbs and Montgomery spring forward. Otherwise, I think they'll make the playoffs, but they're not going to go too far if they go anywhere once they make the playoffs. So they got some serious issues.
I totally 100% agree with you, George. My Super Bowl thought is kind of busted right now. Until that interior line gets fixed, we're going to have problems. It's just simple as that. Yeah. B, go ahead. What were your thoughts?
It's funny. People say this, and yet they beat the crap out of Washington. So their offensive line is doing good somewhere, somehow in these games. Mm-hmm. I think the problem that the Lions are having, especially since Dan Campbell has a propensity to call bad games against good teams. I'm sorry. You got to put it out there. That was a bad call. That was a very badly called game with him. And 0 for 5 on 4th downs. You cannot – first of all, you can't play Super Bowl teams like the Philadelphia Eagles and just say, fuck it, I'm going for 4th down. I don't give a damn where I'm at in the field. No, dude, that is not sound thinking. You can't do that against playoff teams. You can't do that. If you go into playoff with that mindset, dude, you're going to lose. And this is the reason why Lions have been losing, because they don't have that. They have that I don't give a damn and go for glory kind of thing. You can't do that in the playoffs. You got to play for possessions. Yeah. So he should have kicked field goals in the parts where they had field goals. I don't care if anybody's, we're doing some wind. Peterson kicked 3 field goals, and 2 of them were against the wind. I don't want to hear all that. Bates kicked a field goal. He kicked a 54-yard field goal. I don't want to hear any of that. I wanted. They need to get scoring off possessions when they have the possessions. Got to go for the scores.
Let me ask you a real quick question, because I think there's some truth to what I'm about to say. I do not believe that Dan Campbell trusts Jake Bates to kick long field goals.
I don't think that's necessarily it.
No, because look, he's been terrible from 50 plus this year. And he has pulled 40 plus kicks. And he trusts his offense more than he trusts his kicker. Remember, this is the issue we had a while back with him. He's hit or miss. And I think that Dan rather put the ball in Goff's hands and his players' hands than put a kicker out there who has not been consistent.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Ignorant thinking. You cannot think like that. Your kicker gets paid to kick. If he can't kick, then you get another kicker. That's
probably gonna happen if he keeps
on top of that though, Jake Bates came up big time for the Detroit Lions multiple times. Houston,
that
Green
was
Bay.
last year.
It's a couple of games. But I mean, he has built the rapport with the Detroit Lions.
You said that last year about him too, though. Nate,
but this year he has missed. But this year, look at it. I don't know what his record is. But his record is terrible this year.
I mean, you cannot sit there and let him sit on the bench and take points off the board because
he's 0 for 5 from 50 yards.
Nate.
No, he's not. Okay, because he hit a 54-yard field goal.
Okay, 1 for 5. 1 for 5.
I think Jake Bates has missed a total of about 5 kicks this year, but he hasn't been
that's
that
5
bad
too
year.
many.
But I would say true, and that's fine. And I would say the point about how Dan Campbell doesn't trust kickers as much. I think that's more so the player in him, because I mean, when you think about it, players, I go in here, I put my body on the line. You're coming on the field. You don't really have to put your body on the line. Now, however, Jake Bates has saved some special teams touchdowns that could have broken this year.
That is true. He has been a better tackler than a kicker this year. That is fact.
You know something, but you want to know something? Dan Campbell is an analytics type guy. And that's not always the way to go, because analytics doesn't factor in injury. It doesn't factor in the weather or who you could be playing against. You just see numbers that says go for it. And Dan Campbell goes off of those numbers. So I look at Dan Campbell and Jake Bates' relationship is like, I'm only going to use you if I need you. But if I feel like I can actually pick up a first down, or if I can score in these next 2 drives or possessions, I'm going to do that rather than kicking a field goal. And he came on a radio station earlier today, and you heard his interview. You know, he really didn't have a lot of faith in his offense. He wanted his defense to really pick up a lot of slack. That's what he wanted. He said the strength of the team was having playmakers in the defense. That was what he had said on the radio station.
Well, if you said that, I think he kind of contradicted himself a little bit, because if you had faith in your defense, while they had good field position most of that game, then you send out your best punter, who's one of the best in the league, and just pin Philly back. Because now I couldn't have predicted going into that game that it was going to be a low-scoring game. But as you see the game play out, I'd say midway through the first quarter, maybe going into the second, okay, this isn't going to be a barn burner. And yes, some of those 4th down calls, although I've made my peace with it, because that's kind of what's gotten us here.
Stan Campbell,
it's not the same team. It's not the same team. And I would say just kind of the opposite. I don't think he trusts his defense as much, because if you trust your defense, you'll just play the punt, play the field position. And just to be honest, that secondary is basically shoestring and bubble gum and duct tape right now. But right now, at this juncture, how that game was playing out, I could actually trust that secondary better than I can trust the interior offensive line.
Yeah.
And that's just and that's where Dan Campbell's going to have to adjust his thinking about, hey, we're not getting the points, or we should take the points, but if we're still at the 40-yard line and it's windy or whatever the conditions may be, then let's just pin them deep, because Jalen Hurts, and it's actually been shown, like, our interior offensive lines have been a problem. The Eagles haven't really been able to run. They haven't been scoring a lot yet. Their defense has been supreme. And our defense right there, actually, to my surprise, that defensive effort right there was the kind of defensive effort you're going to need in the playoffs. Mind you,
Absolutely.
I'll say this, I've been screaming about an extra edge rusher, which I still think we need, and in the offseason. But now that's a glaring need, because I still think they're thin up front on both sides of the ball, and it's just more glaring on the offensive side now.
And I mean, while I agree with that, but you said something, George, that's intriguing. You said for the most part, we had good field position on defense. I think that's the reason why he didn't punt and he went for it on the offense, because he's like, hey, if I don't get it here, I'm going to trust my defense to go out and get a stop. And this defense stood stout. Now, while it may have not been a good game plan and it hurt them in the end, he trusts his defense. He came out and said that was the strength, that defense. He trusted his defense to get stops, to get key stops, and they did that when it really mattered. It was the offense that really sputtered. The offense didn't have that same spark that they did that kind of put the game on ice. I mean, really, let's be honest. We're upset with field goals. Well, hold on one sec, really quick. We're upset about him not kicking field goals. But you know something that kind of threw it off? Jamison Williams getting that fucking penalty, man. That was a big critical penalty.
We lost by 6. It wouldn't have mattered.
But hold on, let's put it into perspective. If you get it and you go up 7-6 against the Philadelphia Eagles, who's to say they don't have to switch their game plan and play a little bit more desperate? You can play the field the way that you
too. Right.
You know,
that was critical.
I'm not gonna kill him.
That was a big
if we lose
right
by
there.
1 point, yes, I will kill him for it. But we're not.
I think it changed the trajectory of the game. And that's why I texted you guys. And I'm like, does J-Mo have rocks in his head, dude? Because why are you doing that? Why?
Because he does have. Sometimes he has rocks in his head.
Go ahead,
let's be honest.
Go ahead, B. You want to say
I just
something?
think the game. I'm sorry. He kind of threw the defense under the bus because, I mean, as far as his play calling was concerned, you don't go for it in the middle of the field like you do.
I agree.
Thinking that your defense is not going to stop. He had He had so much faith in his defense. He was willing to do that kind of stuff, and that killed the offense because when you do that kind of stuff, your offense is already killing the defense because they're not moving the ball right because you're not making the break. 4 straight times you run.
And you're almost guaranteeing points. You're almost guaranteeing points on that side because.
And you want to know the bad part about it? On the fake punt, the Philadelphia Eagles left their
defense on the field
in the game.
Dumb.
Yeah,
and he didn't. But that's on him because he didn't know that.
Yeah,
I mean, you've seen Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and the rest of them guys.
But here's
footnote. Our brilliant GM passed up on both of them in the draft and didn't trade for Jalen Phillips.
Hey man, you just had to bring that up.
Let's just stop. I'm
just saying. I said this last off season. And I know that means we probably wouldn't have J-Mo or maybe 1 or 2 other players, but
we wouldn't have Gibbs. We wouldn't have Gibbs.
I know, but you want to know what? You would find a way to figure out because if you had a defensive line, and while Howie Roseman, their GM, has prioritized a defensive line, our GM hasn't. If you had a defensive line of Aiden Hutchinson, Jordan Davis, and Jalen Carter, which we could have had, that sounds like nobody really scoring too much on us.
I'm gonna shut this down really quick with you right now. The fact is that Jalen Carter was not on the Lions list for drafting. Period. When Brad found out about that accident, he ruled him out immediately. And then you talk about a guy that has rocks in his head. How about the idiot that spit in front of Dak and got suspended?
Yeah,
I mean, you want that guy on your team?
Yeah.
Well, that guy has a Super Bowl ring, and we don't.
Yeah.
He has a Super Bowl ring because of the team.
Take away Jalen Carter. If you had just gotten Jordan Davis, which would eliminate
Let's put this in
J-Mo,
perspective.
then you still have Lee McNeil, Jordan Davis, and Aiden Hutchinson. That's those 3 right there. That's nobody's really doing too much with that.
Howie Roseman
the
took
defense
6
is
years
not the
to get
problem.
a Super Bowl. Hold on.
Yeah.
Howie Roseman took 6 years to get a Super Bowl.
True.
Holmes is in his 5th. So let's quiet that stuff down.
But also
we should have done, we should have did this, and we should have did that.
Yeah.
They should have did a lot of things too. And they've had the Lions have more consistent good seasons than in between the 6 years that they had than the Philadelphia Eagles. There's 1 year they sucked bad in between that. So you can say that the Lions have more consistency in that, but we can't do whatever the case is. The Lions won 15 games last year, and their defense sucked.
Exactly.
They won 15 games. So either way, they're getting it done. I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about the play calling. That's what I'm worried about.
I do have a question to ask you guys. How much of that is like
the 15-2 record means nothing because they didn't bring the Lombardi home. Now you said consistently good. We see what consistently good looks at when you look at the Steelers. They haven't won the Super Bowl since 2009. They've been consistently good because they make the playoffs. They make the playoffs every year. You think that fan base isn't starving for a Super Bowl? I mean,
no, I get it, but here's the thing.
I would rather go all in and be great at all costs and try to get there and put ourselves in the best position to win. Because being consistently good means, you're in the playoff graphics, but are you putting yourself in the best position to get to the Super Bowl?
Okay, I'm gonna have to say something because I'm not trying to get at you because it's not your fault. It's the incompetence of some of these Lions fans. Listen, You guys act like Brad Holmes sits on his ass and does nothing all fucking day. Like, you don't think he fucking calls teams. You don't think he tries to make deals. You don't think he does all this shit behind the scenes. Y'all think like he just sits on his ass and looks at the sky every day and hopes shit just comes to him.
If he was doing it, Adam Schefter, Pete Thamel, and Diana Rossini would leak it out because that's what their business is.
Nobody it out. He made calls. He called about Jalen Phillips. He called about Max Crosby. He called about Myles Garrett.
Then like, I guess he couldn't trade for Jalen Phillips because he sunk all his third-round capital into Isaac Tesla.
No. You know why? You know why they didn't get Jalen Phillips? I'll tell you right now why they didn't get him. Because Vic Fangio coached Jalen Phillips when he was head coach for the Dolphins, so he has rapport, and they said that he was going to play for Fangio. They had a relationship already.
If I sweeten the trade deal a little bit better, then maybe the Dolphins send him my way instead of sending him to the Eagles.
Why are you sweetening a deal for a guy who's injury prone and you're gonna have to pay?
Well, we got a roster full, a defense full of injury prone people anyway. We might as well get another guy who at least is healthy enough to help out right now.
We have one player that everybody keeps giving shit about, and that's Davenport. Okay.
Yeah, which he's done
on. DJ Reader, Ali McNeil.
Reader. Have they been hurt this year? No.
Ali McNeil got back like 3 weeks ago.
No. But y'all, this is the problem with y'all Lion fans. Y'all live in the past.
I'm not living in the past.
Get the fuck out of the past. Look to the future.
Robbie,
I'm sorry. I'm so
I'll say this.
Tired of all these fucking Lions fans who claim they love this fucking team.
I love this
but yet
team.
they shit all over whatever moves they make. You know,
look, Brad Holmes.
Yeah, I am on the edge. There's no doubt. I'm so
Brad
tired
Holmes
of
has
this
done
shit.
a great job in the draft.
Then just leave it at that.
But you cannot draft and develop your way to a Super Bowl when
yes, you can.
team. No. The teams who've been to the Super Bowl, especially coming out of the NFC in the last 5, 6, 7 years, have all drafted well, but then they've all used their draft capital to make trades to acquire players, better players to help put the icing on the cake to get there.
Who did the Chiefs acquire to win the Super Bowl? Tell me.
The offensive line.
Yeah, especially after they lost.
They drafted. They drafted.
Yeah, because remember when they
was drafted.
Remember when they played the Chiefs?
Mahomes was drafted.
Tampa Bay had.
I mean, look, like I was saying, Brad Holmes has done a great job in the draft, but unfortunately, when it comes to trades and free agency, he's not a killer like Harry Roseman is.
We have to pay our own. We have to pay
you
our
what?
own.
You know what I've seen thus far in the past 3 years? Our own is pretty good. It's not good enough to get to the Super Bowl.
How do you know that? We had a defense that was out all last year. If that defense was this defense here, we would have been the Super Bowl. Tell me if I'm wrong.
That defense primarily is
defense
because everybody's just now getting back.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
Just getting back.
If we had the defense that we have this year with that fucking offense last year, will we not be in the Super Bowl? Tell me if I'm wrong.
If they stayed healthy all year, maybe.
Okay.
But they didn't stay healthy. And Ali McNeil just got back 3 weeks ago. Rodrigo's just not coming back. And Terry Arnold's going to still be out for a while.
The thing is, it doesn't happen. And the thing is, this is what I've been trying to say, really, for the most part. When you're talking about adding people on, this is for like times like last year or even now. People get injured. You're not going to walk into the playoffs 100% injured. 100% healthy. It's the playoffs. It's football. It's a long season. People are going to be banged up, and you're going to need depth. That's just something I feel like the Lions don't have a lot of. While I thought they did, they really didn't show up.
Don't have the depth.
Okay.
Well,
they lose their starters. Their depth isn't that good either.
Even if you don't want to trade draft capital for Jalen Phillips or whoever, they didn't even have to go like all out and get like a high profile player because there's a lot of bad teams that they could have picked on. Like, I mean, yeah, we know the Dolphins are bad.
We got a top 10 defense. We're top in sacks. What the hell else do you want?
You don't generate enough pressures opposite Aiden, though.
Oh my God, man!
You don't
scored 16 points.
And you want to know what? Most of those sacks are generated off of blitzes, and most of the elite quarterbacks.
No, Shep is not a blitzing guy. He rushes 4.
Not all the time. I mean, yeah, he rushes 4 sometimes, but when they get sacks, they're generally. I mean, didn't Brian Branch get a sack last week? You had to send an extra rusher.
Yeah, but it's Jalen Hurts compared to freaking Marcus Mariota.
And sometimes
they freaking oranges.
And
But what
then
he's saying is
for
he's
a guy
still
like Jalen Hurts, they kind of had to rush 5 because they know he can escape the pocket, and they don't
Yeah.
have enough. And when it comes to rushing 4, to get just to create havoc, and that's the difference between our defensive line and their defensive line.
Listen,
Their
we
defensive line, they could
gotta
rush
stop
4.
with this defense. We gotta stop with this defensive crap, man. They're top 10. They're one of the top
But-
defenses in the NFL.
but-
Stop, Jay. And they're gonna get better. So,
But you got to also look at it and say,
we cannot
who
score on
are
the
the
fucking
teams-
ball on the offensive side.
who are the teams that they're beating in this kind of way? These
Who
aren't
gives a
top
shit? That's on our
I mean,
list.
well,
We gotta,
you have to
we
think
gotta
that
play.
way. You have to think that way because you're not going to go up against the Washington Commanders in the playoffs.
Jay,
You're not going to play the
we played the
Jalen
Packers,
Daniels.
when we played the Chiefs, when we played the Eagles, we played the Vikings. Maybe not the Vikings, but those other teams, the defense played pretty lights out. It was
But
a
you wanna
fucking
know
offense
something, though,
that
Nate?
could
I'm
not run
glad
the
you said
football
those
and
teams.
could not protect Goff.
I'm glad you said those teams because you want to know what the Lions did with those teams? They lost.
Yeah,
They lost.
because of our offense. We can't fucking protect the quarterback.
Right.
We can't run the football.
And
Our
you
interior
could-
line
you
is the
could-
biggest
you couldn't
weakness.
get enough pressure on Patrick Mahomes or Jordan Love or
It's
Jalen
dude,
Hurts.
He didn't kill us. Come on, I mean, like they
No, but
did
you
enough.
didn't. But you didn't put him on the ground or force him to throw an interception either.
Yeah, and not everybody can do that with Patrick Mahomes.
B, I'm sorry.
Uh,
man.
The Eagles
I'm not
did in the
used to
Super
being
Bowl.
quiet. I'm used to you yelling and screaming at me, man. What's going on, bro?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
You know,
man.
I want the same energy when the Lions win, though. That's the problem.
Yeah,
That's the
seriously.
problem.
I'm used to you
This is the
yelling
problem I have with Lions fans. They like to scream and yell and talk about, oh, we're not going to the Super Bowl because we lost the game. But when they win, I don't hear any of that shit. So I
Well,
don't hear none
yeah,
of that shit when they lose either.
win, and I'll be quiet. Lose, and we got something to talk about.
They're 6 and
If you-
4.
if-
They're
as
right
long
in the
as-
race.
as-
Where's the
they
doom
won-
and
they won
gloom?
15
First of all,
last
the
year.
Lions are an entertainment product. As long as you win, I'm happy. But if you're not winning, then I'm not happy. It's
We
clear
can't
and
be
simple
happy.
as that.
I mean,
When
I
you're-
can't.
And you want to know what? We've been riding with you when you weren't winning and we weren't happy. So now that you're winning, the expectations have gone up. So I
And
expect
that's
you
fine.
to win.
And that's fine. The season's not over.
that's all I'm
We're 6 and 4.
no, it's not over.
And they got enough in front of them that they can literally make a run. Like there is no reason to panic.
Well,
If there's any panic,
but there's a reason to have
concern.
concern, though. There is a reason to have concern
Sure.
because
Yeah,
the
interior line is the
that
concern.
was the defending Super Bowl champs. So you have these tests you have. It's a measuring stick game to see how you stack up. And what we saw how they stacked up against the best means that they lacked, especially on the interior offensive line, that they're going to have a problem with going forward, and everybody can see that. You saw it against Minnesota. You saw it against the Chiefs.
We knew that going into the season. We knew that
I
going
know.
into the season.
And
That
guess
was the
what?
problem.
You can lay your frustrations and blame on our brilliant GM for not addressing Frank Ragnar's retirement.
He did it after the draft, man.
What, by trying to shake some more money in Kevin Zeiler's face to keep him home and not let him go to keep him home, not let
Zeidler
him
went
go
home
home?
because of his family, man.
I know, but you want to know what? He should have offered him some. You have $40 million in cap space coming into this season too. You should have said, "Hey, look, let's chase this ring. I know you want to go home. Here's a little bit more money. You don't have a ring yet. You're a hell of a player. Let's just keep this going and just give me one more year. Here's an extra few $1 million. What's it going to take to keep you here?" He didn't do that. You went to this offseason. Yes, you paid JMO. Yes, you paid Hutch, but you still have millions more. You still have money to spend. And most of that stuff's not going to kick in for a couple years anyway down the line. And people like the other GMs, especially the really good ones, play around with the cap because they are trying to win at all costs.
Even if we had Zeigler, you're
That
still
one,
gonna
George.
have
I don't know
problems
why
with
they
Tate.
let Zeitler go. That was
Even if you have Zeigler, you're still gonna have problems with Tate because he's still a rookie. You're still gonna have problems with Graham. Like even the tackles are giving up pressure. You know what it is. And here's my hot take. I told you I was gonna give you a hot take right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hank Fraley's got to go.
No,
What?
I'm gonna tell you.
Absolutely
why.
not.
Stop
Hell
talking.
no.
Stop talking. I'm gonna tell you why.
No.
I'm gonna tell you exactly why.
Hank
I'll tell
Fraley?
you why. Hear me out. Let me tell you why. All right. When Hank Fraley came on to Detroit, he had Frank Ragnow, he had Jonah Jackson, he had Taylor Decker. Is that facts or is that a lie?
I don't know how long he's been there exactly, but yeah.
Those are facts.
He's been there.
He also had Graham Glasgow.
He's been here since Patricia.
Exactly.
Oh, so
yeah.
he's from the Quentin Trisha era?
Yes, he's a carryover
Okay.
from Patricia. Okay. So he had all those guys in tow. He even had Graham Glasgow because they drafted Graham. from Michigan in one of those years. He has had good players on the line. Now, I'm not saying he's not a good coach, but now you're seeing the line with young guys that are unproven and they're not getting it done. This is week 11, and Tate is still whiffing. Mahogany's not healthy. Awashika looks horrible. Even the tackles are giving up pressure. Sewell and Decker are giving up pressure on both sides.
Well, I can't excuse it, but I mean, Sewell is banged up.
Coaching issue.
Sewell is banged up, and he has whipped, especially when Micah Parsons made him look kind of silly in week 1.
Right.
And on
But
top of that,
that's also because they didn't really play during the preseason. But yeah, and to your point, like Decker, I mean, I think this could be his last year because he's getting old and he's pretty banged up.
Sure.
But then again,
what I'm saying is,
you could be a good coach. You could be a mid coach, but if you got the horses, you're gonna kind of look better than what either you are, or you're gonna look as good.
He doesn't have the horses.
Well, then whose fault is that? Is that Hank Freddy's fault, or is that Brad Holmes' fault for either not getting enough? No, it's Hank's fault
because Hank's supposed to coach these guys up.
I can't say that.
You know what? Then how do I coach up?
You can't say that. What are you talking about? What is the position coach supposed to do?
Past 3 years, the Lions have had one of the top offensive lines.
How do I coach up a rookie? How do I coach up a rookie guard and a 6th-round pick at my other guard spot and an aging center to go against these 2 young monsters who were part of Georgia's national championship run of the last several years? But at some point,
you're going to have to replace guys. You mentioned Frank was getting old and injured. He's going to have to go. Graham's older. Decker's getting long in the tooth. You're going to have to replace these guys at some point.
Remember,
then you're telling me that Hank Fraley wasn't in the draft room saying, "Hey, Brad, I want that guy."
I'm sure he was. He signed off on these guys.
I agree with that, Robbie. But you know something? This goes a part of what we have been talking about of them giving up 3 third-round picks to get Tesla when those picks could have been allocated to a place of need.
And Tesla, last I checked, can't block and protect Goff up the middle.
That's damn near negligent.
We have guys on the team. What the hell?
On top of that, we don't even use Tesla the way.
I mean, he gets on the field, but Khalif Raymond still gets more clock than running he does.
But Jay, that has nothing to do with the line. The line. Listen, here's the thing. The line is weak. Okay.
Yeah.
The interior line is weak. You have a rookie. You have a backup, and you have a center that's 30 years old protecting Goff in the middle. If you're going to get pressure, you're going to get pressure up the middle. That is what every good team has done with us. Minnesota, the Chiefs,
City,
the Eagles, Green Bay. Everybody has gotten to the middle of the line. That is the problem.
Let me say this. The problem is Dan Campbell, and it's starting to show in his 5th year. He is not making a proper adjustments when you know you have issues on your interior line. It's up to you as a head coach because you're the sole person responsible for that offensive line. When he played the Washington Redskins, the Commanders, sorry, he adjusted that offensive line in that game, but he didn't do that against Philadelphia. And that's the and then you're not playing to your strength. Dan Campbell against Philadelphia, he was the reason why they lost, in my opinion.
I agree.
The first 3 or 4 possessions were just jacked up. And then the fact that you went for 4th down on your side, the only time you go for it on 4th down if you're ahead or you actually need to go for a 4th down. Now, I don't mind him going for it and sometimes being cute, but dude, have better play calling selection. Running it 4 straight times, that's not going to help.
Yeah, that was asinizing to see because you
kind of helped you only when you had a dominant offensive line.
In that game, they were killing Philadelphia with the pass, as long as the receivers were catching the ball. But they were killing Philadelphia with the pass. That's why I said you need to set in this type of game. You need to pass the ball to set up the run. And as long as they did that, they had good runs after they were passing the ball all over them. If you noticed. Yeah. But then when they started running and they just took control and say, we're going to run the ball no matter what, that's when they started failing.
And that's another thing, too. That we don't even talk about is the fact is the line's not even blocking on the runs either. Like, you can't run up the middle. You can't protect up the middle. Like, what the hell are you supposed to do? You
You
know?
can't do it. You can't do anything if you
passes.
can't
Quick
you can't
passes
block.
because
So
Yeah.
quick
you know,
passes
it was
because
interesting. So I was listening to
some things
97.1 on the Monday morning. A lot of people were giving Goff a lot of blame for it, and I was thinking, like, look, I understand he's not mobile. We all understand that, but he can read defenses pre-snap, post-snap, and make the throws. And everybody's, and especially it's like it seems like this whole time wants to run him out of here for some reason.
No, that's just I don't know.
How many mobile quarterbacks do you know can still, while the play is going on, get to their second or third read and make a? And here's the thing: the same fact is mobile quarterbacks need an offensive line
Yep.
still,
Yep.
and how there's only like maybe four, and if you include maybe Baker Mayfield because he's been kind of doing well this year, there's only 4 or 5 mobile QBs that can probably do what Goff's doing. But granted, they need the offensive line. That's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts,
Even those guys need an offensive line.
and I'm forgetting one, but those are the only
No.
mobile quarterbacks in the league that can, at a high level, stand in the pocket and still
Yeah,
do and still make
and
read
how
and
many of
throws.
those mobile
So
quarterbacks
the
have won a
fact
Super
that
Bowl?
Lions fans want to all of a sudden get a mobile quarterback when you drafted one and he just
And
got
it's catching
cut.
up to Kansas City because they ain't where they are now.
And Patrick Mahomes, and guess what? The Patrick Mahomes, he's a mobile quarterback. What did the Eagles do to him in the Super Bowl?
They
They
He
wrecked
killed
really
him.
that.
doesn't.
They killed
He runs when he
him.
has to. He's
Hey,
not
what
really.
did
I wouldn't
Denver
call him
do to
mobile.
him Sunday? What did
But
Denver
all the
do to him
same, though,
Sunday?
a mobile quarterback, all the same, needs to be able to have the same processes quickly
Yeah,
like Goff has. And all the same, just like Goff, a mobile quarterback needs an offensive line to protect him so he can either
yeah.
stand there and not get happy feet and have to scramble. Because guess what? If you put the same, you put Hurts behind our line that night, you put Josh Allen behind our line that night, you put Baker Mayfield behind our line
They're
that
all going to
night.
struggle. Right?
It's
They're all
probably
going to
going to be
struggle.
the same result because that interior offensive line is the biggest weakness on the team right now by what I've
Yeah,
seen consistently over the course of this entire season.
I
And I don't
agree.
think they're going to fix it. Now they'll probably make the playoffs, but you know what'll help me feel better about that? Obviously, they got the Giants, and that should be an easy one. Beat the Packers on Thanksgiving. But Lord have
Beat the
mercy.
Rams.
I do not want to see the Rams because they are cooking and killing everybody. And their play style is very similar. They have to be run heavy. For Goff, for Matthew Stafford, you have to be a run heavy
Rams.
team and you have to be a dominant defense that can hold teams down, especially
yeah,
while your offense may not have their fastball that day. But
for sure.
for their play style, they have to be dominant on the line of scrimmage and they need more help. I'd say, well, on offense, but definitely defensively too. And they're
Hey,
just
for
kind
sure.
of not there right now. So, am I worried about the Lions missing the playoffs? No, but I don't think their Super Bowl run is going to be. I don't know if they're going to do it this year because you've got to go back to
Yeah,
Philly. If they make the playoffs, and let's say you get out the wild card round, because they lost your shot as a 1 seed. If Philly closes out, wins out, that's fine. They're going to have to go back to Philly, and not just on a cold November night when that was windy, but in a cold January day or night that could
Snowing.
be windy and snowy. So
I left.
from what we
Not do
saw,
well in the snow.
and Philly could find their stride offensively and get better. How confident are you that we can go back in there in mid-January on possibly
Honestly,
Championship Sunday and get it done? I don't know.
honestly, we gotta wrap this segment up. But I'll say this: I left that game feeling better about going back to Philly in the sense that the fact is that we have a stellar defense that's only going to get better. And the fact is, we only lost by 6 points or whatever
7.
points. 7 points. Okay, fine, 7 points. Like they didn't blow us out. So
True.
if you can,
They kicked our ass, Nate. Nate, they kicked our ass.
No, they didn't.
They
No,
kicked
because
our
if they kicked our ass, it would have been by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Nate,
we were right in
Nate,
that game, right at the end.
Off went like 17 for 33, my man.
Well, I will say to Nate's point,
and we still had a chance to win that game.
He was 12-14 when he got pressured.
I want to help Nate's point a little bit because I'll say this: that was probably the best defensive effort considering what we have in the back seven.
Stop the tush push and everything too.
And with guys possibly coming back, and you can bring that same effort because they say defense travels. If they could bring that every single week, especially most critically in January, then that's the only part about that game I felt about is the defense kept them in it. Now, and I believe to B's point earlier, when the offense was going for it in the middle of the field, yeah, if you punt, I'd rather the defense have to stop you at the 15 or your own 20-yard line rather than get you in.
I think Dan would call a different game.
Basically, when they turned the ball over, they were right at midfield and in field goal range, and they held them to 3 points. Whereas if they had punted, and pinned them in within their own 15-yard line, then you go to maybe first down, and then you go 3 on out after that. Then they're only at the 30-yard line, and then I get a little bit better field position.
You leave even as bad as the offense played. we were right in the game.
True.
We literally had a
Five.
chance.
And it was only
early
because
in
the
the game.
defense actually was bringing it all night, and they kept you in it.
Well, we might have to
And
rely on our
we did
defense
not.
going forward.
Well, yeah, and that's what I think there's going to have to be because they are more defense. Because Kelvin Shepard pretty much has shown that he has his finger on the pulse, and it's almost like they haven't missed a beat since Aaron Glenn. But almost
They've
similar
gotten
to
better.
Glenn, you should have gotten. They should get Brad Holmes should have given him more pieces to work with, considering
More pieces.
Ennis Rakestraw is. Is it too soon to say Ennis Rakestraw is a bust because he ain't played a snap yet? And remember he had Mosley a couple years ago too. Never played a snap for us.
Davenport, you brought him back.
And yeah, you got and like the offense has been pretty much intact aside from now Laporta's out and whoever else has been out. It's a defense that's still looking like run over street shoes, whatever. And yet they were bringing the better effort. So defensively coming out of that game, yeah, I feel a little better if they could bring that consistently every week, and guys are coming back healthy. It'll help, but the offense is going to have to figure it out. So I'm not worried about them necessarily missing the playoffs, but Super Bowl run, it's where I'm kind of like shaking.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
for me, it's Super Bowl or bust. It's Super Bowl or bust this year.
Sure, I get it, and we could talk more about that in the Giants segment. But we're gonna have to wrap up the segment and head on to the Pic'Ems. So I guess George, we'll see you back for the Giants segment.
You can stay.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you. I'd love to.
Okay.
Liz.
What's up, Liz?
Liz.
What's up, Liz?
All right.
What's
So
up?
B, go ahead and give us your power rankings.
Oh yeah, let me do that. Not gonna like.
Wow, it's a crazy year when the Patriots are 9-2.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
without a quarterback named Tom Brady.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Drake May.
Drake May going crazy.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right.
Never
We're gonna go.
picked Drake.
All right, B. Give us the picks rundown.
All right. So last week, two of us finished 11-4. That would be me and you, Nate. Jay, you finished at 8-7. You had a terrible week, dude. I don't know what the hell was going on with you. Liz, you were 10-5. Of course, you picked Vegas. I don't know why you did that. You live in the state of Texas.
I was hopeful.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Jay leads the pack Jay still leads at 96-49. I'm in second at 90-55. Nate and Liz are tied at 87-58. So you're getting there. You're getting there.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So our first game on the schedule is Colts versus Chiefs. Chiefs are a 3.5-point favorite at home. B, what do you say?
I got the Chiefs.
Jay?
I got the Chiefs. They covering that for sure.
All right. Liz?
Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs. They got to win. They're 5-5. This is a must-win.
Who you liking at, George?
The Chiefs are a desperate team. They're 5-5. They needed more. But then again, I like how Jonathan Taylor's been cutting through everybody. I'm gonna just say Colts. I think the Colts, they're feeling it. They're on a hot streak right now. Now they took a little lump when it came to the Steelers, so they know they faced up against a good defensive line. I'm gonna go Colts to just put a death nail in the Chiefs for the season right now, and they're riding high on the fire right now.
Okay.
Wrong answer. Chiefs.
All right.
We'll see.
Jets.
I could be wrong.
Jets versus Ravens. The Ravens are 13.5-point favorites at home. B.
Ravens.
Ravens.
Liz.
Fight for that number one spot.
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens.
Clean sweep Ravens. They're gonna probably come back. They started off pretty bad, but they're gonna end up winning that division because that division is terrible in the AFC North right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, Patriots versus Bengals. The Patriots are 8.5-point favorites on the road. B.
Patriots.
Jay.
Patriots. Jamar Chase is suspended. He ain't got no receivers. He ain't got nobody, bro. Give me the Patriots.
We got Higgins.
Nobody.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Nobody.
Liz.
Patriots.
I'm going upset special. I'm taking the Bengals.
Ooh.
Yep, it's at home. I know
They
Chase
gonna
is out.
score. How they gonna score?
Is Joe Burrow back?
No.
Joe,
Nope.
he's not back.
But was he? Well, they started. They activated him off of injury.
Patriots
reserve, right?
defense is
He's in that window.
Okay,
right
so
now.
he's not playing. Yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah, he's
it's
not
gonna be-
playing.
No.
And plus, the
All right.
Bengals, their players hate that organization because they're just mistreating them all kind. Yeah, Patriots will win that.
We'll see. All right. And Seahawks versus Titans. Seahawks are 13.5-point favorites on the road. B.
Bingo, free
Really?
square.
We really gotta add. Is anybody taking the Titans home?
Not me.
Man.
always remember forever the night they played the Titans.
All right.
Yeah, that's a movie, man. Not real life.
26 blast with a
Not
backside
real
Georgia
life, nothing's
verse.
NFL.
All right. Steelers versus Bears. Bears are 3-point favorites at home. B.
Is Aaron Rodgers out? I know they said his hand he got a broken bone in his
Yeah,
mouth.
Mason
Throwing
Rudolph
Yeah,
is probably
he's
going to
out.
start.
He hasn't been ruled out yet.
He hasn't been ruled out yet, but I'm pretty sure Mason.
Well, I saw that on my ESPN app. He's not going to be out, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna play.
I trust Mason Rudolph.
The Bears are so inconsistent, though.
The Bears are winning based on the fact that the teams that they're playing are just ass. Like
And their
Cincinnati,
defense is-
they should have lost that game, but
They're just
because
winning games
Cincinnati
by the
can't
margin.
tackle a damn tree, they won that one.
The Bears' defense
then
is
they played the
decent.
Giants, and the Giants said, "You know what? Fuck it, we don't want to play the fourth quarter anymore." So,
Right. The
Yeah,
Bears'
but it's
defense
at
is
home.
What's
decent.
your pick, B? What's your pick?
and you know what? I'm going Steelers in this one.
All right, Jay.
What?
I'm going the gummy. I'll take the Steelers. Why not?
Okay.
Give me the Steelers.
I'll take the Bears because even though they're Jekyll and Hyde, their defense is decent enough, and Caleb Williams may trick around and get them up by 2 touchdowns, and I don't know if the Steelers can come back and spit from behind that far. So I'll go with the Bears, even though they may flip on me and
Their
end up actually
offense
being
is better than
bad.
their defense. Their defense ain't shit.
Actually,
Right.
can I change that? Can I change that? Let me go with the Bears.
No.
Yeah, no more changes.
The
No more
Bears are-
changes. You staying with
As long
those
as you make it
Steelers.
during the pick, that's
I'll-
fine. What do you
I'll
got,
sound
Liz?
Bears.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bears.
I'll take the
The
Bears.
Bears.
Give
What
me
do you
the
got,
Bears.
Nate?
Liz, you taking the Bears? I'm taking the Steelers.
Give me the Bears.
Yeah, I think the luck runs out for Chicago this week.
Not
All
this
right.
week.
Vikings versus Packers. Packers are 6.5 favorites at home. B.
I got the whack pack.
Jay.
Who wants to be terrible the most?
Yeah, give me the Packers. I think the Packers take it. JJ McCarthy
Liz.
is trash. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Liz.
Green Bay.
Hey, and that's a Michigan fan saying
course.
it, and I can
Of
say,
course you wanna
co-sign,
beat
and I
Green
can
Bay, Liz.
co-sign with you right there.
Yeah, I'm going with
winning.
Packers too. Yeah. Yeah, I
Wait,
don't
the
think
Packers
you-
and the Vikings? I guess I'll need the Vikings to steal one here, although because the Packers, for some reason, their defense is great, but they cannot score like they should.
Yeah,
and
their
for the
offense blows.
for our divisional purposes as Lions fans, they got that nasty tie. I need the Vikings to take that one.
There's no way in hell the Vikings will win. No way in hell.
Yeah.
There's always a way in hell.
Micah Parsons
Any
might have
given
four.
Sunday.
I mean, we say that, yet JJ. I mean, I don't know. The Vikings.
JJ can't hit the
they
broadside
may-
of a barn.
I don't know because like the Packers, they can't seem to score more than 14 points lately.
Yeah, but at home that defense is pretty good.
True.
It's
All right. Browns versus Raiders. The Raiders are 3-point favorites at home. B.
Oh, Lord.
Tally up another 4 sacks for the greatest sack artist of all time.
Can we just get rid of
This is
Tennessee?
the week that you would pick the Raiders, Liz.
I know. I was hopeful.
All right. So what's your pick, B?
Yeah, the Raiders.
Raiders. Jay.
Shit. Raiders.
I'm gonna go Browns.
Liz.
I'm gonna go Browns.
Shadur's got to show out. I mean, it's not
You
like
just
the Raiders are
refuse to
gonna be
pick
special.
against your dad's team. I'm telling on you.
I'm going Raiders. Yeah. It's at home. Got to win one.
I mean,
All
he's
right.
gonna get like 5 sacks. in this
Gino ain't
game.
nothing.
Jaguars at the Cardinals. Jaguars are 2.5-point favorites on the road.
This is a trash game.
This is
Who do you believe in less, Jacoby Brissett or?
I'm going with the Jags because I don't want to go with either one of these teams. I hate both of these teams because they're bad.
Okay, Jay.
You picking everything I'm picking, B. I'm taking the Jags, man. Cardinals is horrible.
All right.
Horrible.
Liz.
Ugh, man,
I know that's right.
I don't care. Those Jags. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm going Cardinals.
And Trevor Lawrence, aka Sunshine. I'm gonna just.
Sunshine about to get knocked.
Yeah, he's fake. So I'm gonna go with the fighting Jacoby Brissett's over here.
There you go.
And I was born in Arizona, so I'll take the Cardinals.
Come on.
There you go.
All right. Eagles versus Cowboys. Eagles are 3.5-point favorites on the road. B.
Yeah, I got to go with the Eagle fries.
Jay.
Eagles.
Liz.
Fly high, birds. Eagles.
I'm going Cowboys.
I go Eagles, even though
That's a hate pick, Nate, but that's
I'll go
okay.
Eagles.
For real.
No, actually, I'm not impressed with the Eagles' offense. I think that if Cowboys can score on that defense,
I kind of
gonna
want
be
to
hard.
co-sign with you, but it's just their defense, though.
the defense has
But
got
Dak
better.
is-
They've got
but
better
Dak
pieces now.
The Dak is putting up video game numbers this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and has no defense.
But he ain't gonna. I don't know.
The
about
Eagles
that.
is number 4.
Pickens and Lamb versus.
It is an intriguing matchup. I'm gonna tell you because Dallas is putting up numbers, and that defense got a little bit better, and all they got to do is stop the run, which they did against Vegas. Gente, what I tell you, he's gonna get stopped. He had 7 carries for 9 yards. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm changing my pick. Since we on that, I'm changing my pick to the Cowboys.
What? You care?
Cowboys. Hey, you know what?
Okay, no more
Cowboys.
changing picks.
Cowboys.
What you pick?
Hey, B,
I'll
put
stick
me
with the
down.
Eagles because they just have a way.
For
Of,
real?
I'll steal this line from Dan Campbell. They have a way of just dragging you to the abyss and then drowning you. That's just what. That's
Y'all
just
are
what
all
they
gonna
do.
go Cowboys.
I'm going
Yeah.
Cowboys.
I want to go. I'll stick with the Eagles. I don't want
Alright.
to.
Go
but, yeah.
Eagles.
All right.
Telling you.
Moving on. All right. Falcons versus Saints. Saints are 1.5
God.
point favorites at home. B.
I'm going Saints. I can't stand the Falcons right now. They're getting on my damn nerves.
Jay.
B.
Yeah.
The receipt
I'm
is you
going
don't
with
pick
the
Saints.
I'm going with the Aints, man. Michael Penix is out probably for the remainder of the year, man. That team is
Really?
just fire, dude.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't really been
Yeah.
paying attention to the Falcons. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you haven't been.
I thought
Liz.
Penix was still playing. I didn't know he was hurt.
All right. I'm going Saints.
I'll
Yeah.
go Saints.
Give me Saints too. All right. Buccaneers and Rams. Rams are 6.5 point favorites at home. B.
Ooh, that's probably got to be
Rams.
America's game.
Yeah.
Give me the Bucks.
Are any of Baker's receivers still hurt and busted up? Like, does he still have? Does he have a Buko still?
Yeah, he
Buka's
still
there,
has
so.
Booker. I
No,
don't know what's
Buka's
going
there.
on with Irvin.
Godwin might play,
Irvin's
but not for sure
I
status.
think they will play.
Man, the Bucks could help us out. I'll go with the Rams, but the Bucks really should
about-
I think the Bucks really should take that, but I don't know. The
What
Rams
you
are
got, Liz?
Liz.
Tampa.
All right. I'm taking the Rams. No one's stopping the Rams right now. They're probably
Rams are-
gonna
Rams
go
are
to the
doing
Super Bowl.
Rams are doing their best Ivan Drago imitation right now.
Yeah.
It's killing everybody.
All right.
I'd
Panthers
agree.
versus 49ers. 49ers are 7-point favorites at home. B.
I'm going 49ers.
All right, Jay.
Give me the 40 Winers. Sorry, Sonia, but I gotta go with the 40 Winers.
Liz.
49ers.
Yeah, I'm going 49ers too.
Yeah, Niners and who they're playing? The Panthers, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I'm gonna
49.
say they should cover that because did the Panthers win recently? They seem to have these They lose a couple
Yeah, they
games,
won.
then they
Yeah,
then
they just
beat Atlanta.
then when they win, they'll put up 30 points, and then they'll just go back to being terrible. So if they've
Yeah,
already won their game,
Bryce Young tore it up.
I'll take
Yeah.
the Niners to cover that 7 too.
Okay. All right. Bills and Texans. Bills are a 6-point favorite on the road. B.
Bills. That's too much for the Bills. Going
That
on the
is.
road, they can't stop the run. Houston's got the number 1 defense. I'm not buying it. The Bills are through.
But
this is a typical case, George, and I'm glad that you mentioned that about the Goff versus mobile quarterback things, because this is exactly what I'm talking about. Josh is a good quarterback. He's a great quarterback, but has he gone to a Super Bowl yet?
no.
The hell to the no. So that dispels all that kind of bullshit.
Well,
I'm
his
taking
problem is Patrick
Houston.
Mahomes, just like Lamar's problem. That's their main problem. over
Jay?
there.
I'm
Go ahead.
taking Houston.
Houston can't even protect CJ Stroud, isn't it? This their tackle would have been a problem, isn't it? So I don't know. I think the Bills should
Yes.
win that game because CJ Stroud, he's missing his best wide receiver, and their offensive line can't protect him.
Well, Stroud is
Hey,
out
y'all,
this
hey,
week.
I
mean-
So am I relying
make
on the
my-
Bills?
Nobody's been able to
Bring
protect
that
the
third
Houston.
One at a time.
Oilers
One at a time,
against
yo.
the
One at a
Houston
time. One at a
Oilers.
time. All right. Who?
I ain't make my pick.
Jay, go ahead, Jay.
Liz, you know you my homegirl. You know you my homie. I gotta go
I
with the
know.
Bills. Gotta
It's
go
all
with
right.
the Bills.
Yeah,
I got you.
I'm going with Bills because the thing is that the one weakness the Bills have is stopping the run, and the Houston Texans can't run the football. So give me the Bills.
Houston ain't got a running game. Sorry, but who Houston got?
All right,
We'll see.
and finally,
Let's go Houston.
Giants versus Lions. Lions are 10.5-point favorites at home. B.
Yeah, I got the Lions. They're not going to lose 2 in a row.
Yeah,
They
Jay.
don't lose 2 in a row.
Lions, man. They always beat up on bad teams, so they do what they
Liz?
do best at home.
And hey, under
Yep.
Dan Campbell, we just never lose 2 in a row.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm going Lions.
What's
Yeah.
the spread on that?
10.5. Yep.
Yeah,
Belt
Why
to
were you
ass.
so hesitant in saying that, Liz?
I'll take.
Cover that and make
Huh?
me feel good better.
Why were you so hesitant in saying that? You were like, yeah, I'll take the Lions.
You caught that, B?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hey, come
So
on.
You take the Giants, I'll come down to where the hell you at and had to put foot in the ass, okay?
Come on.
All right.
Is Drake May's not playing in this game, is he? He's out.
Drake, you mean Dart?
Is
You mean,
I'm
You
sorry,
mean
not Drake
Dart.
May. I mean Jackson
Dart.
Dart. I'm sorry.
It
Yeah,
doesn't make a
Dart
difference
is
if he
out.
plays or not.
Dart's out on a concussion.
Oh, okay.
Is he
Then
still
they
out?
better. Then honestly,
I don't know if
they-
I don't know if he's
oh,
been ruled out yet.
Jameis Winston, if you let Jameis Winston come in here and carve you up a little bit, I don't care who you got back there. No, they should cover that. Cover and make me feel better.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the preview for the Giants and Lions. So Liz, we'll see you in a few.
Adios.
All right.
Adios.
All right. So Giants and Lions. This is definitely one of those games where you expect the Lions to come out and really take belt to ass to this team. The Giants are in just influx right now with a lot of issues going on. Their quarterback might be out. I do worry about their D-line because their D-line is playing really well. Brian Burns is one of the best sack artists out there, outside of Myles Garrett this year. So again, it's going to be about protecting Goff. If they can protect Goff, it's going to be Lions all day. If Goff struggles with pressure, Sexy Dexy inside can push push the pocket inside. If they struggle and they can't protect their quarterback, could be tough. So what do y'all think?
Yeah, this game is going to be based solely off of how well they protect Goff. I think they'll win, but I mean, they got 3 really good edge rushers that they put pressure on. I mean, last year you seen just with Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau alone that they ranked up there with pressure and sacks. With our offensive line looking very vulnerable, I expect them to bring pressure. I expect them to get to Goff a couple of times. But ultimately, I think the Lions will win because they're playing a bad Giants team. Let's really be honest. They beat up on homeless kids. So, yeah, I think the Lions should win.
I mean,
this
they
game.
fired their coach. I mean, that's all.
Ryan
you need to know
Daboll is Jackson Dart is out. I mean, obviously, you're going to have Jameis Winston throwing. But
I don't know if Jackson Dart's been ruled out yet. I have not heard anything about him being ruled out.
I wouldn't be in a rush to bring him back because what are they playing for? You see that record right there? They are 2-9.
2-9, yeah. They're playing for the number
no
one pick,
reason
basically.
to rush him back. And if you rush him back, that says a lot about who's ever running the team and the GM that's allowing that to happen. So
I mean, the Lions should be the one eating a W to this week for sure. And
yeah, absolutely.
I listen to local radio, and TJ Lane and John Jansen are offensive linemen saying some of the Lions' offensive line problems could just be adjustments in how they approach the run game. So I think they need to find whatever tweaks they need to make against that front and try to be more their ground and pound selves, even though they struggle with that, or get more creative on how to approach the run game. Ground and pound and set up play action, deep shots to JMO, St. Brown coming crossing routes over the middle, and figure out who's going to be the third down answer for Goff, because obviously Laporta's not coming back for a while. And that's probably where Isaac Tesla is going to have to step up and be that guy that, where Goff can find on third downs. Now, some of what I think is even though he doesn't get on the field much, they don't think really build up that rapport yet. I mean, we got 2 one-handed fancy catch touchdowns, but somebody's going to have to step up and take the place of Laporta on third downs, kind of like how Josh Reynolds used to be on third downs a couple years ago.
J-Mo.
Well,
Brock Wright.
I think if you're talking about the third down savior, it's St. Brown. Like him and St. Brown need to get on the same page.
Right.
And I do expect this game for him to eat a lot because let's be honest. I mean, the cornerbacks for Philadelphia did a really good job on St. Brown and JMO for the most of the game. And yeah, Laporta was heavily missed because, with St. Brown and JMO being locked up, you don't really have an option that eats in the middle like Laporta does, And so I think it's paramount for the Lions to get St. Brown going early and often in this game. I don't see that being an issue because the Giants secondary is not really that good. It's just a matter if we can run the football. I think you hit the nail right on the head. If we can run the football consistently, which we should, because against crappy teams, we run the football good.
I think they will. I think they're going to run the ball crazy. Yeah.
Anybody knows that St. Brown's had a little bit of a dropsy problem this season?
Except
it's funny. I was really happy about this going in the offseason. Madden came out. Although I don't have the video, I don't have Madden. I played college football game, but when I found out that St. Brown had a 99 overall catch rating on Madden this season, I'm like, well, dang, that's nice and something to tout. But he hasn't been playing like he has a 99 catch rating this year. He's dropped at least a pass in almost every game the last few games.
I mean, he's human. He's not
some of the criticism I've heard. I'm sorry. Some of the criticism I heard from Goff is he's like, well, he's always throwing at their feet. Yeah, because when he's getting pressured, he doesn't want to put ball in harm's way and throw a pick. I mean, when he's throwing a pick, and we've seen how Goff is throwing some picks, but some are either like this last one was tipped. He throws at their feet on purpose so he doesn't put it in harm's way. He dirts it on purpose to save one to not take a sack and lose yardage, and to just get rid of it. So.
Yeah, and every pass is not going to be perfect to a receiver. They gotta help their quarterback out just as much as the quarterback's trying to help them out. And Brown has not been playing at his level. He needs to go out there and catch 252.
He's that
jug machine now.
Right.
Machine, man. I totally disagree about that coverage by Philadelphia. Philadelphia was getting their ass kicked by the receivers. They couldn't cover nobody.
Well,
J-Mo had that one cut across when he got that touchdown. J-Mo cut. Nah, nobody could catch his ass. They couldn't catch him.
Not St. Brown.
Drop passes were the problem.
Right, but St. Brown after that big play was locked up the rest of the game. He had
Goff was 2 for 12 when targeting Amon-Ra St. Brown. He was 2 for 12. So
he was pressured when he was doing that too.
And going back,
that was it too. I think it was a lot of pressure because Goff went 1 for 14 when he was pressured. So I think a lot of it played a factor as well.
Yeah, and added to that, like what he said about Philly's secondary not necessarily being sticky with them. Yeah, where there was open receiving, especially when Brock Wright was open on that one incompletion in the end zone, but Goff got sped up because both Decker and Sewell caved in on the pocket. So when you speed up the time in the pocket by creating that pressure, then your guys aren't going to be getting open as quickly. And I'll give a little bit more respect to Philly secondary. They are good. Cooper DeJean and them are, and Quentin Williams, they're back there. They are good, but when you can get a little bit more time, then yeah, JMO and Amon-Ra are going to get the separation.
Well,
And as fast as JMO is, it takes time for him to really get down. Golf needs more time in the pocket, really, is what
Well, it
I'm
also
saying.
comes down to the interior, because if the pressure's coming in the middle, Goff can't step up in the pocket, and he's not going to go east or west.
That's what he's saying, Nate.
Yeah,
it was especially clear on that 4th and goal when he threw the football in the back of the end zone. But I saw 2 guys wide the fuck open right there. But because he had pressure in his face, he only could see one target, and that was the guy in the back of the end zone. But Brock Wright was open. That one wasn't to Brock Wright. That was actually to
St. Brown in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, Amon. Yeah,
St. Brown. Yeah.
And JMO was open right in front of the goal line. So he could, if he had time, he could have found both of those guys.
Give Goff another half a second, he would have found probably Brock Wright for a touchdown. Another half a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing is too is that like with the Lions, like, I mean, let's be honest, they're missing one of their All-Pro players in Laporta. I mean, he was finally heating up before he got hurt, and according to what Dan said, he might be out for the rest of the season. There's no timetable for him returning. Like,
a back is nothing to play with.
Yeah,
he got speared in his back too.
Regardless of that whole situation, they're going to have to find a way. Sorry, next man up. You're just going to have to find a way.
But who is the guy?
It doesn't make it. Somebody will have to step up.
It's going to have to be.
Give me a name.
Who? Here, I'll give you a name.
All these damn offensive weapons the Lions have, and you say who?
It's gonna
give me a tight end. Give me the tight end that's gonna step up.
It's gonna have to be the guy. We're a brilliant GM sunk 3 third-round picks into. It's gonna have to be Isaac Tesla to step up. That's what it's gonna have to be.
Or they're gonna have to pass more on the backfield to the running backs.
The least I can do is somehow scheme a way to scheme him open on third down to be the new safety blanket.
Or Jamison Williams. You don't always have to use him as a downfield threat. You can have him over the middle. You've seen what he did over the middle.
Right. You can do jet sweeps with him, which they haven't done too much of this season.
Player. I think that's because of the blocking. They don't trust the blocking. The blocking's terrible.
Jay, just a little bit to Jay to your point. Some of Jamison Williams running deep routes to kind of take the safeties away to keep Amon-Ra and the rest of the guys underneath.
Not if you're running misdirection, you don't.
And I think they should run crossing routes or mesh routes.
He did that against Washington, and he did that against the Philadelphia. No, I agree. JMO has to step up, no doubt.
Jahmyr Gibbs, look at him. He had over 100 yards last game. I mean, he caught a couple passes and got downfield. I mean, the Lions they have weapons that they could use. You just have to put them in the right position, and Goff needs time to actually get the ball.
And you know who that falls on? That falls on the offensive coordinators, whoever they are. Whether it's Dan Campbell, whether it's Morton, whether it's Shaw, it doesn't make a difference. They all have to work together to get that offense together, because if you're missing a player, you need to fix that.
I'll take that up a little higher. Our GM needs to go do what he does best and go shopping in the DVD bin for old used and shop the waiver wires and get. Did we bring in the offensive lineman? What was his name? Frazier.
He's not set to make his debut until December, I hear.
Well, then you don't want to make trades. You didn't. I mean, you took Manu, he took a couple guys that may not have been ready. He needs to go pull guys off of waiver wires who are ready and get them in here.
But the reality is, the people that are on waiver wires are either injury prone, which Lions fans seem to get pissed off when Brad does that, or they're players that aren't that good, and the players that they have on their roster are better than what they have.
Right, and I get you, and I'm tired of messing with broken toys, but we're here now. So
yeah, at this point now, if he gets somebody that could possibly be injury prone, as long as they can come in and make an impact until we get our guys back and healthy, I think that will be like probably the best bet. Just get someone who can play now.
But you see the guys we have now. We have Cologne. We have Awashika. Those guys. Those are the backups that are now playing starting roles. Well, it's not Cologne, but he stepped in for Tate for a little bit.
Yeah,
he might actually be better. I don't know. He was Cologne was holding his own for a little bit out there.
Yeah,
especially when there was he came in during the Washington game, I believe. He did all right at center.
The thing is,
started. I think he started before Glasgow took over for him in the Washington game.
Because Glasgow got hurt for
Glasgow got hurt and Cologne stepped in.
Yeah.
But then Cologne stepped in for Tate, so he's versatile in that aspect. But Here's the reality of the team right now. It's the running game.
Mhm.
Because if you look at all the losses, the Packers, the Vikings, the Eagles, who else did we lose to? Who am I missing?
Chiefs.
Thank you. Chiefs. All those games, we could not run the football.
True.
I think we're under 100 yards in every one of those games. So that is the theme with these good teams is like we'll beat up on the Giants. They'll probably run for 150 yards, couple of tugs, whatever. It's the Giants. But when you go against the big dogs, like the Eagles, the Chiefs, or not even the Chiefs because these are terrible, but the Eagles themselves, you've got to run the fucking football.
Right.
And if this team cannot run the football, we're not even going to make the playoffs.
Right.
Because all they're going to do is just put pressure in the interior and put Goff on his ass.
And you can't.
I think that they can make it to the playoffs
25 times.
This is more than a manageable schedule, and the sky isn't falling just yet. It just raised concerns.
But you look at go ahead.
Right now, the offense is the weakness right now. I mean, as crazy as it may sound, and I even do you one better. The Lions are ranked 5th when it comes to offense, but that comes with the caveat. It's against teams who are bad teams who have bad defenses. It's not against a team like the Eagles or the Chiefs, like you say. One thing the Lions have to do, they have to play into their strengths. Their biggest strength right now is the defense. They're going to have to drop a game plan because this isn't the offense from yesteryear where you can go out and get 400 yards per game and, just have a monster offensive game.
Hook and lateral plays.
You couldn't do that in yesteryear either.
Yeah, he struggled.
Absolutely, they could.
More
I mean, the Lions were beating teams on average by double digits last year. I mean, we played a bad AFC South and we were killing those teams.
Right.
And they can't do that anymore. You're going up against literally all first place teams now. And
the thing about this season, however, is if you're a team and you're focused to get in the playoffs and you have some issues on a certain side of the ball, you're going to you have the whole regular season to fix those areas. And to a point, we get miffed about the losses that they're taking right now. But at the same time, they're still struggling to find consistency on the offense because of the interior line. Sure. So and then you got different and as much as we don't want to admit it, but Ben Johnson had a different type of play calling than Morton or Dan Campbell does. So you got to utilize every player on the field. And when the Washington game, I saw that. I loved that about that game because he used everybody on the field. This is something that he did not do in Philadelphia, and I thought he should have been doing more of. And you got to do that against good teams.
But let's be honest.
At the same time, the defense is taking over where the offense is lacking, which I thought was going to happen this year. They need to step up. The defense has stepped up. That's why I said Shepard was he's a way better defensive coordinator than AG is, because AG is just a people person. But the point of the matter is he's still a better defensive coordinator. Looking on this, total offense and total scoring offense, the Lions are 5th and 4th in both of those. So they still are getting the ball. It doesn't make a difference what kind of teams they're playing right now. I think what they're trying to focus on is that's why they're using these teams that are good as measuring sticks, because when they get into the playoff atmosphere against these teams, they know what they got to recognize. Yeah. Okay. So everything's a trial by error for the next 7 games.
And also
they have to, and let's hope that's what it is, because that's going to matter, because that Sunday game against the Philadelphia Eagles was a playoff game. And that is exactly what it's going to be like, if not more intense, with more on the line when you're going up against these teams. I mean, let's think about it. B, do you like your chances of going to Seattle? If we were to play Seattle today in the playoffs, would you like your chances of going against Seattle in Seattle right now? Do you like their chances?
Weather-wise, no.
Well, I'm talking about in the middle of the season, no.
Right, but you get what I'm saying. So these games right now, especially in the NFC, are going to be very important. Like they really just have to step it up a notch, and it seemed like the offense is still missing an identity, because one game you can put up over 500 total yards, but then the next game you're struggling to get to 200 yards.
Let's look at that from a standpoint, because I think as Lions fans are prisoner of the moment all the time. We put a 500 yards on a sorry ass defense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You had to play the Eagles the next game. That's a tick up of defensive. Even though Eagles defense statistically has struggled, they still present a problem because they have good position players. They just haven't been good as a team sometimes because they have been exposed. But they still have good dudes. They have Davis. They have Carter. They have Cooper DeJean. They have Quinyon Mitchell.
Adoree
they have
Jackson,
dudes.
Blankenship.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it was going to be a tougher situation going into Philadelphia. I think we all said that we got to see what Dan Campbell looks like as a play caller against a legit defense, and we got the answer. He struggled heavily against it, and Dan's got to look in the mirror and make some changes. Every play caller does that. If they get their ass whooped, they figure out, hey, I got to make changes.
Again, let me emphasize this, okay? Philadelphia is on the edge, just like a lot of teams in their position right now are. They are playing good enough to win some games.
Yeah,
they should have lost against Green Bay because that stupid call that Sirianni made of the 4th down thing. They should have capitalized on that. Green Bay did, but Green Bay is just as fucking idiotic as they are. So, Philadelphia is not a good team. They're not a good team. They're finding ways to win. That's all there is. And other teams are giving them the chance to win.
They're playing within the margins.
They're exactly.
They got beat by a team that knows how to play, and that was the Broncos.
Or execute on offense. Execute on offense. Yeah.
Well, Broncos have a hell of a defense this year.
They got a hell of a defense. Their defense is great, but that's just what they are.
I'm not convinced. I mean, they got a couple of more games, Philly does, that they have to prove that they're, in the mix. To me, that they're going to come and go to the Super Bowl. I think they're just squeaking by. I don't think they're extraordinary. I think the idiot play calling that Dan made against Philadelphia is partially the reason why the Lions lost that game. Most of the reason why the Lions lost that game.
Now,
had they had better play calling, they would have won that game.
Think about this right now in the NFC, the way that things are shaping up in the NFC. Let's say the Lions continuously play the way that they're playing now. The Rams, the Bucks, the Seahawks, everybody who's in the playoff picture now. Do you see any of those teams beating them? Because I don't. Like, I see the teams that have to play Philadelphia to get to the Super Bowl. I feel like Philadelphia is still like a tick ahead of everybody else. Like, they're still
defensively, offensively,
I don't think they're good defensively. They're ranked low in every defensive category. The Rams should have won the game that they played in Philadelphia, but their field goal kicker can't fucking kick a field goal because it keeps getting blocked in their face.
Well, Jordan Davis did.
Stafford had him coming down
and the Rams almost beat the Eagles in Philadelphia if it wasn't for a whiff on one of their O linemen on Carter.
I mean, but it happens.
That's what I'm saying.
But
the
Rams
can beat
and
Philadelphia,
that's why they have those
down.
players to make those types of plays. And the thing is that whether we say it's luck or not, they had a player in position to make a play, and he did that. That's what good football players do. That's what you do at home.
Well, I mean, there's two sides to that coin, though. If you have the other player on the other side screwing the hell up, then obviously it's going to make that player look good.
Absolutely.
So you got two flip sides of the coin.
And think about this, the Rams,
Philadelphia side.
But think about this, the Rams have their woes as well, too, because, I mean, I remember the San Francisco 49ers who was banged up, no Kittle, no McCaffrey, no Brock.
That was a bad loss. They lost in their own house. Yeah,
I just chalk that. We could chalk that up to this. Your division opponents tend to play a lot tougher than everybody else because they know you got to see them twice.
That's why the Giants
the one thing, and I know you guys were saying earlier about how Lions fans, get up in arms, but this Sunday night game was critical. It was critical for seeding positioning. Because the truth is, golf and the outdoor thing is kind of a thing. And now I know last year we had the number 1 seed and that didn't fare well, but at the same time, I'd rather be home in my own crib regardless and have Philly to come here. But instead,
we can still win the division.
And if things play out that way, that's fine. But we have now Philly has a tiebreaker over us. Currently, until decided otherwise on Thanksgiving, the Packers had the tiebreaker on us, and they had that stupid tie, which kind of really makes things kind of weird. But unless the Lions, they go strong and finish out, I mean, for seeding wise, it's critical. It's absolutely critical because wild card round, if they could somehow find a way to win a division, that means the division winner, you're hosting the wild card. If they don't win their division, then they're going to have to go on the road and play 4 games to get to the Super Bowl. or
Yeah,
plus
or
Super Bowl
depending on who
instead
loses at
of
home
being home here.
yeah.
So that's why it was so frustrating, that loss, because there was a lot on the line. Our own division, our own in division seating, and the conference seating. So that's and
It
yeah,
was
it's the defending Super Bowl champions too. So again, I think we'll be fine. They can't necessarily keep continuing playing the way they're playing, even against bad teams, because even some of the wins that we've had, I've seen where even on some of the big plays where Gibbs will have or whatever, our offensive line still allows a little bit of penetration in the backfield. But granted,
they've
those
been
we
they've been
got
bad
through.
all
We
year.
yeah, well,
Some days it's been
and
better.
to your previous point, be about Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson had Frank Ragnow, and I miss Frank Ragnow.
Mm-hmm.
I miss him.
Yeah,
I get that.
I want
a healthier
I want
Decker
Frank Ragnow back,
and
because the
Zeitler.
dude was a warrior. He played banged up, but my God, that the middle of that offensive line was never a question. And heck, even when Stafford was here, I don't even really remember Stafford facing too much pressure up the middle because of
Yeah,
Frank
I wish
Ragnow.
Yeah,
I love
those were the ends that were getting to him.
Yeah.
I love Frank, but he should have told them before the draft so they could have made that a point of emphasis.
Well, he kind of told you after the NFC title game 2 years ago, because I remember I heard I heard a statement right after we lost that NFC title game. Which
Yeah,
was
but a lot of
heartbreaking.
players say that and they still
He said he
play.
had, yeah, well, but when a guy really says that, that means it's in his mind that he's thinking like, hey, my
Yeah.
body's breaking down. I want to be able to pick up my kids. I want to be able to do the things I want to do. So he kind of told you
Well, they
2
did.
years
They
ago
did
after we
draft
lost
two
the NFC title
linemen.
game, but he stuck
could-
it out.
he
We
could
went
make
16
some
and
kind
2,
of a-
and then we didn't get home with it. And I was worried. In the back of my mind, I was worried, because I remember he said that after the NFC title game 2 years ago, and I was thinking like, oh my God, how much longer we got with Frank Ragnow? That's why for me last year I was so pressed, even though we won all those games. I was like, we got to get it done, because I don't think we're going to have Frank Ragnow too much longer. Now, yes, he was quiet this offseason until he made his announcement. Then I'm thinking like,
Whenever
oh
you
crap,
start
what are we
talking
going to do
about,
now?
whenever
You
you
don't-
start
And,
talking
and,
about
and part of that,
retirement,
yeah, you could say that from 2 years ago. He was alluding to that, but then you still have to be in communication with the team that you're with. Say, look, I'm planning on retiring. You guys should look for my replacement, or draft somebody in my spot. Not to tell them what to do, but that so that they're aware. If you just came out and if that Ragnow's a professional. Okay. The problem is he didn't tell them in time for them to make draft preparations to replace him. And that's the problem.
Did he
If
retire
had
before the
done
draft or
that-
after the draft? I'm sorry.
I thought he retired after the draft.
It was after that.
Right after?
Yeah, it was after
Mhm.
the draft.
Well, then you still have I think you still have free agency to still address that, but hey,
Yeah,
Who was on free agency? That
Free
was
agency first. And
I
then
don't know.
draft.
I don't know.
They could have what they should have done. And you alluded to this point before, George. They should have kept Zeitler. Zeitler was the guy. They did not do enough to keep him here, and they should have. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this offensive line would look a whole lot better with Zeitler there. Because Zeitler was our best offensive lineman.
He
to
was,
tell you the
but
truth,
he's
last
struggling.
year.
He's been a Pro Bowler, I think.
Yeah, but he's
struggling.
He's struggling with the Titans, and even in his individual's position.
Well, that's
I mean, well,
Because he doesn't.
And
He's
he was
not
35
playing with a
years
good
old.
offensive line.
he's not playing with a good team. They're bad. They're
Listen,
horrible.
this goes back, and this goes back to coaching. Hank has got to get these guys ready. And let's be honest, it's week 11, and these guys are not ready. Tate should be better. I mean, it sucks losing Mahogany. I think Mahogany was a huge loss because Awashika is not better than Mahogany by no stretch of the means. Decker is giving up pressures all the time, which is nothing new there. But Penei Sewell, and I'll say this about Sewell. Sewell's hurt. He is playing through injuries, and it sucks to see it because I think he wants to take at least a week or two off to get better. But he's going to play through these injuries until something severe happens, which God willing doesn't happen. But, he's playing hurt, but he's not playing like the Penei Sewell that we've seen in the past. And I'm telling you, man, Hank has got to get these guys. He's got to get on these guys, man. Yes, it all starts with Dan and his play calling. I totally agree with you, B. The play calling is huge. But if your O-line coach is not getting the job done, then you need to figure something out.
Well, I agree with that partly, but still, your offense. I mean, your guy that's calling plays in the first place has to understand that you have, as a head coach, and if you're going to call offensive calls, You have to be aware of the situation that's going on with your team offensively. If you know you're going to have problems with pressure up the middle, you need to start calling plays outside that pocket. You need to, even if you got to have Goff step a couple of steps to the left or to the right, just to get a little more free time, then that's what you do. If you're not doing that, you're not being a good play caller. And this is what we saw against Philadelphia. You cannot let that happen to you, period. And that's why it was a poorly executed play call plan by Dan. And people are going to call it what it is.
It is.
He is not a good offensive coordinator.
And he even said that as a couple calls he wanted back.
Which most play callers say that all the time.
I think he just should have just punted a little bit more, when necessary, realizing how the game was
playing. Sure. No.
Taking the point. Yeah. Punting and taking the points.
Yeah. Because, when you start realizing, oh, wait, they're not scoring or they're not getting down the field as fast.
No, man.
And we're making them go 3 and out, but then they're also making us go 3 and out. Then we got to play this chess game positioning and push them back though. Because I don't know if we had more yards than but it seemed like when we were starting back on our own 10, which we kind of we were able to get to our own 40 or their 45, and we gave them more good field position, obviously, because we couldn't convert on 3rd and 4th down. So just got to punt the ball more. Let Jack Fox, who's probably one of the best punters in the NFL, do what he does. So
I think
gonna have to be more of a defensive team going forward.
Exactly.
I think the 4th downs, like B said earlier, when you're at the 50-yard line, unless you're in that middle ground where it might be too long for a field goal but might be too short for a punt, then you got to go by the analytics in that aspect. I'm okay with him going for it when you're at the goal line because you're not going to beat a team with field goals a lot of times, especially the good teams. You got to score touchdowns. We've seen a lot of games where teams just scored field goals and lost the game because they didn't score touchdowns. So you got to get those points when you can. But yeah, when you're at the 50-yard line, punt the ball. I totally.
At the same time, though, you got to see what their offense is doing. Their offenses wasn't doing squat. They had one touchdown, so field goals would have made a difference in that game. Sorry. You're trading the field goals in that type of game is going to matter. They didn't have no problem.
It would have made the game closer.
They didn't have a problem not going for field goals. They kicked 3 of them. Come on.
Yeah, it wasn't. That
was credit to the defense.
It wasn't like Philadelphia was just running up and down all the field.
Exactly.
No, they kept Saquon bottled up pretty good.
It's just
they stopped the tush push. They stopped the tush push at least 4 times in that game. That's the most I've ever seen anybody stop.
But even a couple of field goals, we still would have lost the game.
No, I don't think so.
No, we wouldn't.
I think
we lost by 7
of the game.
at 6.
Let me ask you guys this question. Are you okay with going forward on 4th down? And let's just say it's particularly within goal of distance. It's in like 4th and goal or whatever. Are you okay if we're already like up 7-0, trying to go either 14, or should you want to just take the field goal and go up 10?
Depending on who we're playing. If I'm playing a team like the Eagles, I'm taking the field goal. Why? Because how they played on offense, the Lions were stopping them. They were stopping their offense. So they had to score at least twice to get ahead of the Lions.
All right, and that's why I preface it by saying if we already have 7 points on the board and you already got them down on your own 3-yard line, so if you don't go up 10, you're trying to go up 14 and forego the field points by how the defense was playing, you at least got them pinned on their own 3-yard line. So I guess what I'm asking, what I'm prefacing is, are you okay with Dan Campbell being more aggressive if we already have a lead per se of a touchdown lead, basically?
But
are you okay with it there? You're trying to double
Depending
up,
on the team,
or you could go up by 10, but you go up to go by 14. Are you okay with them putting that at risk?
Yes.
Okay. That just had to ask that. I was wondering.
So the thing with Dan's aggressiveness, and we all have to just understand this and move on. He's not going to change his aggressiveness. He even said in his presser today, he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that." The thing is that is he going to be more cautious about the longer 4th downs, like where the 50-yard lines where you change possessions? I sure as hell hope so. Because the thing is, in today's NFL, if you don't get that 4th down, that team can just kick a field goal with 10 more yards with all these kickers that are kicking like 50-yard bombs. So your margin for the defense is not very much to give up yards. So maybe 10 yards at the most. If it's at the goal line, you bet your ass Dan's going to go for it. That's just what he does.
And that's why I was asking. That's why I was asking if you guys can live with that. Granted, if we already have,
we have no choice. We have no choice. We praise him. That's his curse. Is that he's very aggressive.
That's a thing that he's going to. And I'm starting to see it. And I didn't want to believe it at first, but that's the thing that's going to kill you when you're in the playoffs.
We've been seeing it. We saw him against the 49ers.
That you're playing. You cannot. Well, the 49ers, we were up by 14 points, so we could go for it on fourth down. We could have kicked the field goal. That game had nothing to do with his fourth down call. It had to do with the execution of the fourth down call.
Yeah, Josh Reynolds dropped 2 of the passes.
But he could have been more conservative and kicked the field goal and added to the total, but he went for the kill shot.
I can't really kill him on that one because Josh Reynolds had the ball in his hands and literally just dropped it. But so if he catches one of those 4th down passes, we could be talking about, hey, we got to the Super Bowl, but I can't tell you what we did because obviously that'd be just revisionist. That'd be bad. One of those 4th down passes.
It was a lot of things that went into it, like Jahmyr Gibbs fumbling, and then Christian McCaffrey running in for a score. That was another thing that killed him. I mean, adding points does not hurt. It backs the team up and it makes the team have to adjust on the fly to do things. They get desperate to try to keep a lead or to try to keep up with you. That's why you try to add as many points as possible. That's why a game like Philadelphia, kicking field goals, no matter where you were, was very crucial because let's say he did kick a 40-yard field goal and they missed it. What's the difference between missing that field goal and then you going for it on that 4th down when you're already 0-3?
Right.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Analytics say you probably won't get it since you're already 0-3, so just take the damn points. But no, you want to go for it again and then let Philadelphia get it on their 45.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. Y'all be honest with your answers on this, okay? When you watch Lions games, when he doesn't go for it, do you think in your mind, man, he should have gone for it, especially if it's a miss? Or especially if it's if they punt it and the other team comes back and scores a touchdown, like damn, he should have gone for it.
No, because not necessarily. If he doesn't go for it and he punts and plays field position, I can understand that too. When he does go for it, I understand that's the mentality he instilled when he first started, especially that first year, which was pretty nasty. He was trying to instill a mentality, but now that you got a little bit better pieces to play with, he doesn't necessarily need to do it as much. But I think he did to what B was saying. He may be doing a little too much because he's trying to. I mean, he admits that's who they are, and I think that was when he was trying to initially instill his program here. And I think it's already set. Now you got the guys who understand, and it's okay. And matter of fact, Dan Campbell has changed every coach's approach a little bit in this league because every coach now is going for it on 4th and 3 or 4th and 3 and 4 at minimum. So. I understand why he's doing it, and I know as a fan, I've co-signed onto it because I know, one, that's kind of gotten us here, but 2, he doesn't need to do it as much, in my opinion. So if he doesn't do it, then I'm fine with that.
He needs to be smart about it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
you got this uncontrollable urge to keep going for it and just being petty and doing it because I'm going to do it because I'm Dan Campbell and I said we're going to do it. That's bullshit. You need to think about what the game is. That's what
I think he wasn't trusting his defense because he was probably worried that the Eagles probably
if he wasn't trusting his defense, he's a damn fool.
I think he said his defense played lights out.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another. But that also goes back to the point of when you're in the early phase of that game, especially going in that game. I didn't know that nobody was going to put up over. Everybody was going to be short of 20 points. Nobody's going to put over 20.
I thought it was going to be like a 30.
I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be 24-28 or something like that. That's what I thought. I was expecting going in that game, expecting to see a few more touchdowns on the board. But as the game was flowing, yes, you could. To your point, he didn't adjust to it. But I can understand why
weather conditions had a lot to do with it.
I got to do this because I can't rely on that bubble gum and duct tape secondary to hold up all night against AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. But
the secondary did a damn good job.
When you actually take the, it's funny to Jay's point when you actually take the points, which he should have done. I think it helps your defense play a little bit more relaxed and loose. Because I think if a defense like Cleveland's defense, like Myles Garrett, you're playing all tight, but you're making plays. If you're always worried about giving up the lead, you're going to play a little bit tighter, and you might overthink and make a wrong move or not adjust. So I think when you have a lead, or at least whatever they have gone up 7-6, JMO's side, then that helps the defense play a little bit loose. But they played with their hair on fire and they contained the Eagles best they
Yeah.
could all night. So a few more punts decision as opposed to 4 downs and taking the points. Who knows what we're talking about
Let
right
me ask
now?
you.
So he should have trusted his defense as the game was flowing. But I understand
Yeah.
going into that game, he's thinking we got to score at all costs because I have no
He
secondary.
trusted the
Let me
defense
ask
a
you.
little too much.
Let me ask you a question because I need some clarification on something. So
Hmm.
I feel like the turning point of the game was when the Lions scored the touchdown. They missed the extra point, so it was 6-6. Or six. It was 7-6 or 6-6.
It was 6-7. Yeah, 6-6.
6-6.
Like the
6-6.
the Eagles had 2 field goals. The Lions
Right.
just scored
Okay.
a touchdown, and we didn't get the
So
extra
this
point.
was the turning point for me because the Eagles, like B said, the Eagles had offense had done nothing the whole game, literally nothing. And I think either we punted or maybe kicked off, but they scored. The defense allowed them to score a touchdown all the way down the field. And then we ended the half down 13-6.
Mhm.
That was a short field, by the way.
Yeah,
Was that
I think
was
that's
that
the
a
game
fourth
with
down?
the
down. That was one of the bad 4th down calls.
That was the
Okay,
fake punt.
I thought we punted on that.
I think that was the fake punt, if I'm not mistaken.
I
That
know
was
the fake punt was a little bit earlier.
that was what it was. It was the fake punt.
Okay.
That was the turning point of the game. And you want to know why? Because with every 4th down failure, I felt like the Eagles kept building momentum while the Lions were losing steam.
Of course, they're getting half
Right.
the field to execute when their
And I
offense ain't
think
doing
that was-
shit. You know,
I think that was the problem, is that the Lions were trying to get that spark, that ignition, that ignition of the offense to get them going, but they just never got it because they were horrible once again on 3rd down. They couldn't sustain long drives. They couldn't sustain those drives that could wear down the defense and you can just explode with Jahmyr Gibbs. They couldn't do that.
The reason why they were horrible on 3rd downs, because he was playing for 4th downs. When you have a coach that goes for it all the time on 4th downs like that, that's what you're doing. You're using all 4 downs. You got to still play basic football. This is a point that Dan Campbell should understand by now. All his time in the league and being a player in this league, you have to do that kind of stuff. I understand that you trust your team to a point, okay? But if you're going to go for it on 4th down, have better play calling than what they have. Running 4 straight times is not good play calling. Sorry.
Nope.
Unless you got the offensive line to do it.
I think that was kind of
right now.
But that's the point I'm trying to make. You know you don't have the offensive line to do that.
And here's the problem. Maybe he shouldn't be calling the plays.
He should be calling the plays because John Morton. I'm sorry, but John Morton, his play calling sequencing, kind of night and day, and I'm fine with Dan Campbell calling the plays. The problem is, I just don't think, and you can call the best play sequence you have. I just don't think with that interior offensive line you have enough to get everything executed that you need to get executed.
Think about this. If you're a play caller, and be honest with yourself with this answer, if you're a play caller, you're in control of calling the plays, right? That's your job. You don't think that if you see a play on that sheet that looks damn good, you're like, you know what? I'm going to go for that because I know that I believe my players, we can do that.
Situation.
Situation. But you're in the call sheet. You're living in the call sheet. Like every play caller will tell you, they want to get in the flow. They feel good about the call at the time. Of course, everything's hindsight's 2020. What I'm saying is, now that Dan is calling the plays, he's probably more influenced by his own calls to want to go for it more. To whereas if he's not the play caller, they're just asking, "Hey Dan, do you want to go for this?" And then he can think about it.
I think it kind of alluded really quick. Hold on, really quick, George. I think it kind of alluded to what B said before. He was playing for 4th down. That's what it was. Because
he liked the call on 4th down that he thought was better
instead of your normal 3. So he probably do something a little bit unorthodox because he knew he had 4 downs to go out there and try to get that 1st down.
Honestly, I think Dan's always playing for 4th down, man.
I'll say this: Nick Sirianni kind of does the same thing with the whole tush push because they know if they're getting that ball inside of 2 yards, and if it's third, the only defense against the tush push is don't let them get the 3rd and short, or don't let them get the 4th and short. If you can stop them on 1st and 2nd down, and on 3rd down, if it's like 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 4, and you don't let them get any yards, then they can't use the tush push. So if you want to, and I know it's really no defense because Nick Sirianni has been kind of busted up a little. It's been kind of a mess with their But yeah, they're both in a
Tulo's
sense
the one
kind of
that
playing
calls
for.
the games. Yeah.
Well, they're both kind of playing for fourth down. Us, we're just a little bit more creative in our we're aggressive in how we approach it. But they got a quarterback that can squat 600 pounds and a huge offensive line, and they can tush push and maul people out the way. So in a sense, we're all playing for fourth down to a degree. And yeah, granted, we don't have the personnel to do what they kind of do.
What I'm saying is, though, when you're calling these fourth downs, you gotta understand the flow of the game. Okay,
Right.
Philadelphia the whole season's had problems offensively. Period.
Sure.
And you're watching tape, and you know where their offensive deficiencies are. You can't just go by because AJ Brown is getting mad because he's not getting the ball because their offensive play call. But Petula, he
Taking up your
sucks.
fantasy.
He sucks. Kellen Moore won him that Super Bowl last year because it wasn't Petula. Petula's not going to – this is why they ain't going to win the Super Bowl this year because
He
Petula
probably got a bit of a
sucks.
Super Bowl hangover too, but yeah.
And one of their biggest problems is they don't have that Saquon Barkley that goes out there and average 5.5, 6 yards.
Because he had 2,000 yards last year. He's tired, man.
He's not that
Well,
same.
and everybody's got tape on them
a
now.
lot of spark of their offense away.
And they're keying in. They don't trust. They don't trust Hurts.
They don't run the ball.
Until the middle of that game.
The whole offense is different.
Also up until the middle of that game, and here's where Nick Sirianni they made an adjustment, and Chris Collinsworth pointed out, Jalen Hurts hadn't really been running that much this season.
Yeah.
Then they decided, this Lions defense is actually making it harder for us to score. We need to get.
He escaped a couple of times.
So they spread out the defense, and he called his own number, and then they would run and get 4 or 5 yards, and that's how really they were manufacturing a lot of those key first downs.
Well,
and up until that point, they weren't doing it, and all of a sudden they saw that the Lions, they're about to actually making this game tight. We need to adjust, and they adjusted. They ran Jalen Hurts because they're stopping Saquon Barkley. They get a couple first downs, game's over. So
if I'm going to be critical of the defense on one aspect, it's setting the edge. When Tanks Bigsby got in the game, he ran wild, and that led to that touchdown at the end of the half. I
wonder why we can't set the edge. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Oh, he's stuck in. That's why.
Could believe we don't have enough good edge pressure to set the edge.
I know, right?
It's only one player on defense. I mean, it's everybody all together. Shep will tell you that first and foremost.
And that defense got to get some more takeaways.
Shep is a hell of a DC. Hey, Shep, let me go get you some more dogs, some more chess pieces to play with.
Yeah,
that's what Brad should be doing.
Again, you don't think he tried?
Hey, what more can I do?
I don't think he tried because he said that. Hey, people are upset. I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
That's pure ignorance. That's pure ignorance.
Time out. He even said that when people were talking about an edge rusher, he said people are upset that we got an Aiden Hutchinson. It's almost like we got two. He got upset at that. I mean, people just want more help. We knew coming into the season,
You really don't think that he tries to make calls to other
Absolutely
teams
not.
Players?
Absolutely not. Because
That's
Jalen
bullshit.
It's not bullshit. It's not.
No, it is fucking bullshit. I can pull up stats and show you that he fucking called for Myles Garrett. He called for Max
last year.
He's called for other defensive
you know what?
ends.
I'll give it to your point. Nate, to your point. He did trade for Darius Smith last year.
You're wrong.
No, time out because
I'll show you stats showing that he made calls.
Fuck that. He did not go and call for Jalen Phillips.
Okay, Jay, because you're in the fucking room and you know everything.
Yeah. Did they leak out any reports?
No.
Yes, they did not. I'll send you the fucking reports.
Where was the reports that they called for? Time out. Where was the reports that they called for Jalen Phillips when he gave up a third round?
There were trade rumors that were linking Jalen Phillips to the Dolphins, or not Dolphins, but for the Lions and Eagles and whoever. But they were rumors. They didn't say that Brad actually picked his own.
Well, they don't have to leak everything.
And the prices were too high. That's exactly what Dave Burkett put out on his piece.
Okay, but it's not.
Wait, what did Dave Burkett put out?
I'm out. Dave Burkett and Dan Campbell himself had told the people that some of the prices were just too steep. It was not worth what they were looking for.
But they made the calls. They made the call.
Because time out. When it came to Jalen Phillips, you gave up a third-round pick, and people are like, well, why the hell would you give up a third-round pick for an injury player that's not going to be here?
We don't have a fucking third-round pick.
Why? Because
you know what? And you want to know why we don't have a third-round pick? Because our brilliant GM gave him on the price of Tesla.
That's why. That third round pick that they gave up for Jalen Phillips, that's going to be a compensatory pick if he walks away. You do know that, right? So that third-round pick, you're getting back essentially, and you're getting a player.
Jay, was that third round pick for next year?
We
Or
didn't
for
have a
a
third round
couple
pick
years down the line. What year pick is that?
Huh?
You know what year that third round pick is that next year's draft?
That's next year.
We might not even have a third round pick next year's draft.
We didn't have a third round pick this year.
And that's what I'm saying. Brad Holmes, as much as I love Brad Holmes, he kind of digs himself in these holes with drafting people like Isaac Tesla. I have nothing against that kid. I think that is a good football player who can help in the future. But what about the now? Can he help us now?
Look, Brad Holmes
Does he have to help us now? He doesn't have to. We have other options.
I tell you what. I tell you what. Would you rather have our previous GM?
I'd rather have Howie Roseman right now at this point.
Hell no.
Well,
I would rather have Howie Roseman at this point.
Roseman's not even in the
John
talk.
Lynch.
Okay? Roseman, like I said, Roseman took 6 years to get a Super Bowl. We're in our fifth year.
And they have
But
different
he's also not afraid to just roll the dice and get it done. And he can still draft pretty good.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yes, but
it took him 6 years to do that. That's what I'm saying.
But Brad is
Wait,
better
Howie
at
Roseman's
drafting
been the
than
GM
Howie
since what,
is, and Howie's better at
2012?
trades.
Or 2010? How long has Howie Roseman been there? He's been there a long time.
And Howie inherited a good team, man. He's had good teams before. Come on,
Right.
man.
And I get it. It took him 6 years, but in the last 6 years, how many Super Bowls has he been to now? 3? And he's drafting.
No.
And you know what? And you know what?
Get to the Super Bowl
Howie Roseman is using draft capital to not only make good picks on players, but he's also using future capital to finish off the cake with proven players, guys that other teams have drafted.
No, Robbie,
here's a funny thing. When they were traded for Jalen Phillips, they got the Dolphins to pay the rest of most of his salary for this year. That's some gangster
and what's to
stuff
say?
right
And
there.
what's to say that maybe he wanted to go to Miami because he had a relationship with Vic Fangio.
The thing is that if you get traded, if he has a no trade clause in his
right, he has no trade clause. You ain't no matter.
Oh, you want to go to Philadelphia? Have a nice time in Detroit.
You know these teams make under the table handshakes. Come on, let's be real. You know that there's deals done under the table.
But you mean to tell me that the GM for the Miami Dolphins got fleeced and he agreed to get fleeced? With the Miami Dolphins,
I said that they helped each other out.
No, he's also saying because I guess maybe Jalen Phillips went to the GM and said, "Hey, I like the Eagles because of Vic Fangio, that he did him a solid, just like Brad Holmes did Matthew Stafford a solid because Matthew Stafford asked to go to LA." Now, if that is the case,
I agree with that.
Okay, but at the same time, if I'm a GM running an organization and if the Lions offer me a better package of draft compensation, I don't care about what you like. I'm going to send you where I can get the better
where I can
deal.
be able to help my team
if that's helping me out. Now,
Miami Dolphins
maybe there's that family relationship of, hey, you went to Vic Fangio, you like him, we'll do you solid. I guess
Miami Dolphins.
You know what? If Jalen Phillips,
Miami Dolphins,
if Jalen Phillips wins a fucking Super Bowl, you can talk. Okay,
man, he's on a team. He's on a team that's favored to be back to the Super Bowl. And might I add, you hold the number 1 seed in the NFC. And might I add that he fucking created 4 pressures without a sack against the Lions.
And how much better would he make our defense? We already have a top 10 defense.
He will make our defense
then make it better.
Jalen Phillips is so good at stopping the edge.
Hold on.
Hey, Nate, if our defense is top 10, then I want to be top 5. If we're top 5, then I want to be top 3. And if we're top 3, then I want to be number 1.
What's wrong with
having more edge rushers? You can never have enough killers to kill them.
And they have guys. They have
all
dudes
about
that
is you got to have a quarterback. You got to have a guys that protect your quarterback, and then you have guys that you got to have a whole bunch of guys to go kill the other team's quarterback.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that was the reason why we lost, right? That's the reason why all our losses.
Yeah, hold on. Let me tell you this. Dan Campbell coached the Miami Dolphins. You don't think he got pulled down there to say, hey, you know what? We'll give up X, Y, and Z if you give us Jalen Phillips. You don't think he could have done that?
He has connection.
Like I said, in the last 3 games, do you know where the Lions are in a takeaway differential? They're a -1 in takeaway differential. They do not create turnovers. You want to know why?
We're not at Kirby's job. We're not getting turnovers. Yeah.
Well, of course.
We're just not getting turnovers.
Dan
Dan said that himself. We're not getting turnovers.
They're a -1 in turnover differential.
Okay,
you don't think a
fine.
more defensive player would help?
But you act like Jalen Phillips is all fucking all world.
No,
I mean, I'm not
he
saying
just
he's all world. I'm
just
saying on the
Jalen
team right
Phillips just
now.
adds on to two other guys that are already dogs in the middle.
Okay, and Philadelphia was horrible in their sacks. They were 24th in sacks. They need
Nate,
an edge rusher.
Our
We
best
just paid
defensive
ours,
linemen
97.
are Aiden Hutchinson and Liam McNeil. What's wrong with getting them more help? What's wrong with adding more? What's just wrong with more? DJ
Because
Reader's
we don't
fine.
have the fucking money. We got to pay other people.
No, you got then you've been fine the money. The cap's gonna go up.
Thank you.
And you know what? And you know, along with the cap going up,
so
you're not gonna keep. You want to keep everybody. I mean, somebody's gonna go.
Somebody's gonna have to leave eventually.
Y'all are funny Lions fans, man.
No, we just want to win
We're
a
just
Super Bowl.
realistic and want more. I'm not going to drink their bad water. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to call out their bullshit. That's what we do. That's
bullshit,
what
Jay. Let's see if Phillips wins the Super Bowl. Then you can talk.
I mean, shit.
How about that?
Hey, he holds the number 1 seed right now. They're in a better position than we are right now.
Hey, all I know is
I'll bet you $100 right now.
All I know is
the number 1 seed.
Jay and Nate, check this out. All I know is that the teams that have come out of the NFC the last 5-6 years, the teams that have come out of the NFC hosting the Super Bowl the last 5-6 years, they've all drafted well, they've all scouted well, but they've all have spent draft capital into getting guys that were on other teams who were bad or whatever was going on with them to get the guys that they needed to put them over the top. I think this past off season, we should have went a little bit more F them picks mode.
Yeah, when a guy
now,
already picks
the Rams did that, and guess what? And I'm gonna use the Rams example. They traded for Stafford, but that wasn't even it. They already had Aaron Donald there. They traded for Von Miller.
Yeah,
they traded for Jalen Ramsey, and they traded for Odell Beckham Jr.
We don't have a stacked team. And we're still working.
And you know what? We should have traded away some more capital to try to stack it like they had it stacked. That team had Voltron on the side. And you know, along with that, yes, they were bad for like 2.5 years, and they rebuilt. And guess what? While they were bad, we kind of came up, and guess who we were hosting in the playoffs the first time we hosted the playoffs in 30 years? The Rams.
Who was that?
Came off of an F them picks mode, Super Bowl, busted out. Their Hall of Fame defensive tackle retired, and then they were in the playoffs like 2.5 years later.
Doing this with y'all. Let's move on. We got
this
here.
We should. Liz. I mean, there's nobody in the 2026 draft that's going to help you win a Super Bowl. Now or even next year.
Hey George, we got to get to Liz's segment though.
Like I said, we'll see what happens at the end of the season. I mean, that's all you can go by.
Exactly.
Whatever it is. I mean, y'all had good argument points on either way, but we'll see. Anyway, hi Liz, how you doing?
What's up, Liz?
Why are you shaking your head?
Man, guys, y'all can go back to what y'all are doing because this is some popcorn moment.
I know, ain't it?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
after a certain point, man, I said, forget it. I'll let y'all
just stepped away.
kill each other.
Oh my God, hold on.
I'm listening.
All right, go for it, Liz.
I don't even know what to say.
Talk about your Texans. They won.
You won.
Hey Liz, I'll offer you a 4th round pick if you send me Will Anderson.
No.
I'll send you a 1st round pick for Will Anderson.
Yeah.
That's a no.
You ain't got the money to pay him now.
Yeah,
go ahead.
The Texans do got money, but they somehow don't know where to spend it at. That's all I know.
Rest in peace, Tank, though.
I'm just saying,
that dude
I don't
tore
even know
all
what's
4 of his
going on.
ligaments.
Like, what is going on with him? They haven't said anything about anything in the media about Mr. Dell, but
he's not gonna be back until next season.
I mean, I don't even know if he's gonna come back. That's the talk of the town. That's the talk of Houston. Like, they don't even know if he's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
wow.
Tell us about the win. Tell us about the win.
So yes, the Texans won. It was great, but I mean, the Texans still did a lot of stuff wrong. They're still digging early holes. Another slow start. 6-0, missed early chances. This team keeps making itself come back from behind. I'm sorry I sound like all crazy, but they missed red zone opportunities. Houston had a golden shot at the goal line, but Mills got sacked on the 4th and goal from the 1, left points on the board. There was missed field goal. I mean, Mr. Fairbairn is out, but Mr. Wright is here, and he needs to be Mr. Right now. He hit the upright from the 31 yards on the opening drive. Could have been costly. Too many pressure plays allowed. Titans had 4 sacks with Jeffrey Simmons disrupting the pocket. Pass protection was shaky. It was yeah, we won. I felt like Texans should have did way better. I mean, because they're the Titans. They should have been way better. Like there should have been a lot of points on that board.
True.
And they let the rookie, what's his name? Cam Ward, sorry, drove 95 yards to tie the game with 1 minute and 35 seconds left. A defense lapse that almost flipped that outcome. Like they could have been better. They should have been way better. I don't know what was going on with the Texans that day. I felt like they were just kind of shaky. I don't even know why. Like it was Titans. They were 1-8, now 1-9. Like they were just not themselves that day. And that's the shit. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to cuss.
I'm just saying. I just feel that the Titans were going to play better anyway because they were at home.
Right.
But I didn't think they're going to score as many points as they did. But the defense,
you're going to
have to face the fact that the defense is going to have to win a lot of these games or keep them in the games to win the games. And that's good because Houston has the number 1 defense in the league.
No, we do.
That's not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And division games are just funny that way. I mean, that's like you're going to see your next door neighbor twice a year. You're going to play them. You got each other scouted up extra heavily, and you draft. And some of your drafting is influenced by how good your in division rivals are. So.
And you knew there was going to be a fight too because they lost 26-0.
It is.
I know in this town we don't really respect like the Bears, but the Bears tend to always play us pretty tight and give us problems, even though we've beaten them a little bit more consistently. But the in division rivals, those games I always expect them to be a little bit uncomfortable because you guys know each other so well.
Exactly.
And the thing is, the Texans did do some right stuff. Like they finished strong again. Davis Mills stepped up again. Defense dominated again. Matthew Wright delivered under pressure. Despite an early miss, he still nailed a 41-yard, a 43-yard, game-winning 35-yard. But the coaching and the game management, Mr. Ryans, he kept the team calm. He trusted his backup quarterback. He showed improvement in his situation.
They didn't have to win. That's all.
We got Thursday night. We got Thursday night football. Okay, we're Thursday night. We're playing Mr. Allen. Like that shit is unreal. Like they really need to. Mr. DeMarco really needs to step up. And that coordinator Nick Colley. Oh my gosh! Like your offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams. Like what's going on with y'all guys? Like come up with
everybody hates their
something.
offensive coordinators nowadays.
Everybody.
Anybody notice that DeMeco Ryans looks like Marlo Stanfield from The Wire? That dude, he looks like he looks like he'll have you get got though. So honestly, I know because I was like when I looked at him, I was like, dang, he looked like Marlo Stanfield. And you know what? But he's got that program together. I think the players play for him, so I got a lot of respect for DeMeco Ryans.
Yeah,
and he was a former D coordinator for San Francisco, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so he knows how to run. He knows how to run the defense.
Former defensive player there.
Just looking at him, I'm like, I keep thinking about that scene where he had little Kevin just taken out. I'm just like, dang, DeMeco Ryans is a killer.
But I'm so over this O-line coach. Like he is just pissing me off, and I know I'm not the only one. But I know the Texans need to come through this Thursday. They need to attack Buffalo's secondary. They need to run right at them. Don't bounce outside. Buffalo struggles inside the zone. And so I feel like if Buffalo defense breaks late in drives, Houston can win it. Like they can do 8 to 12 play drives. They can get it. They can get it done. They can take man, this game has me nervous, but like Bills special teams too, they give up short fields, they big returns. The Buffalo packs the box in the red zone, but Houston beats it. Like we can get it.
Well, the good thing is at least you're home and
win the turnover battle. Yeah. If the Texans,
you can think your GM
1 to 2.
You can think your GM about your offensive line Because why are you giving away players to other teams when they were doing so good with their offensive line?
Laramie Tunsil.
This is the same. This is the same thing. This is the same thing that we talked about with Brad Holmes and Zeitler. Why the fuck aren't you trying to get offensive line? You know you have a quarterback that's a tree back there. Okay.
I'll take a project.
Offensive line is your stable of the whole team. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you don't have an offensive line, you're not going to do very good. You're not moving the ball.
The final formula for the Texans to win is contain Allen, downhill run game, 2 to 3 explosive passes, turnover force. Texans win. My bold intake for Texans is Texans 27, Bills 24. That's all I can say. It's just like we just need a win. Mills needs to just keep this win. Keep going. Like Stroud is out. He's out another week. So Mills needs to play for his brother. That whole team needs to play for Stroud. That whole team needs to play for Texans. Houston. Like this city ain't no joke.
H-Town.
Let's go. H-Town up.
Because they need to get back in the playoff race.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We're still in the hunt.
Yeah.
And if the Chiefs are 5-5, they can stay 5-6, and we can be 6-5. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go.
I mean, I think you guys have a legitimate shot at winning because Buffalo is playing so inconsistent right now.
That's
it's like
what I'm
sometimes
saying.
they want to play, then the next time they don't. I mean, and that's like a blueprint for most of the teams in the NFL right now. Nobody knows. That's the reason why we can never pick games, really well because everybody's playing differently. Like Atlanta has failed in life.
But the problem is, it's also in the AFC. You look at right now in the AFC East, the Bills and Patriots are going to make the playoffs. You look at the West, the Chargers, Broncos and Chargers and Chiefs are all vying for a spot there, and only one team's going to come out of the South, which would be the Colts. Yeah. So it's a pecking order, and you got the Ravens too. And the Steelers.
Yeah, the Ravens are coming on.
The Steelers, but we'll see. I mean, it's week 12. We still got a lot of weeks left. And we're also going to be playing our divisions coming up too. We got Jags again. We got Colts. So those are going to be key games, but I'm going to just stand on this Thursday Texans H-Town win at home.
Game at a time, yep.
What do I
always say? It ain't how you start. It's how you
finish.
Right.
Well, they need to start fast if they want to beat the Bills.
And I'm just thinking about it now.
Start fast and not get discouraged.
Yeah, they need to start fast.
Aside from the Colts, that division is not that great. So you should. I don't know how many more games you got against the Jags or the Titans.
I got one more with the Jags and one more with the Colts.
And depending on how the rest of your schedules play out, I'm thinking as you were talking, Liz, there's probably going to be a team in the AFC wildcard that might not be over 500 because the Chargers, even though they're over 500 now, similar to your problems, their offensive line has been decimated by injuries. So it's gonna be them or you, kind of trying to get to that finish line. But one of you two may be getting in there as a wild card and going on the road, maybe 8-9, something ridiculous like that, which we've seen before. A team under 500 getting a wild card spot. So that's just how I think the AFC shaping up because the Chiefs, they're 500 right now. The Chargers are, kind of backsliding a little bit.
Yeah.
But Denver's got a lot.
Hey, to be honest, those Chiefs can stay on the bottom. I fucking hate those Chiefs.
All right. On that note, thank you, Liz.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Always.
Yeah.
Jay, love you, man.
I love you too, homie.
Let's wrap up the show here. Want to thank George for coming on the show.
Nice to meet you, George.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for having me.
Yep, George.
Pleasure.
Love you, man.
This is awesome.
Yeah, great insight, man.
George, man.
Good stuff, man.
Love to have you on in the future time, bro.
Thank you.
Anytime, bro. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, this will wrap up the show. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the show. Check us on YouTube at One Ass Cheek and Three Toes. Also, check out our Instagram and our TikTok at One Ass Cheek and Three Toes. Jay and Liz be putting out content. I want to thank you for all the people that listen to the show. As always, to the haters of the South, to the haters of the North, you hate us because you ain't us. Y'all have yourself a blessed evening. We'll see y'all next week. And oh, by the way, Thursday, Jay and B will hold down the all 32. Check out for your bets. Talk about some matchups, injury reports, fantasy reports. I will be in Detroit. I will be going to the Giants game. So
313.
Exactly. 313. Get ready for me. Hey, that
That's
rhymes.
one.
Anyways, y'all have yourself a blessed evening. Thank you for tuning into the show. Have a good night. Bye.
Peace.
Hasta luego.
Front of you cannot see what's in front of you. Yeah, promise that you get to run into if you knew what's about to come to you. It's about to get real dangerous. 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 Yeah, watch out, pop out, black out, pop out, beat 'em up, knock out. I had to see with it. I had to cover their head and cover their necks at the same time. I had to take out the ref. I make my own.
Remember, Dre's Daiquiri Shop at Cotton Gin, 441 Railroad Street in Maxwell, Texas, 78656. Daiquiris, food, football, and fun. All a part of a game day victory. If you subscribe to One Ass Cheek, 3 Toes on YouTube, you'll receive 5% off your total purchase or a free shot. Proof of subscription required.